I wanna be with you always, 'cause that is what my heart says. That's what my heart says. I wanna be with you always. You are my world in every place. It's the things that you do, and it's the smile on your face. And as time goes by, I know I'm in a better place. I'm in a better place. Without your love, I am out of place. And without you, I am just a trace. I love you with all of my heart. Together forever, never to part. I wanna be with you always.
So looks like we've got people who are coming in still. We want to let them come in, but while we're doing that, I want to just first tell you all who I am. For those of you who may not know, my name is Dr. Monica Williams Riley, and I am a board certified family medicine physician, and I specialize in functional medicine. I am the owner and physician operator for Deep Rooted Health. It is my practice. It's kind of my baby of all things. And I tell you, this has been a labor of love for me, putting on this first summit for you all. This summit today is about food. And for those of you all who have walked with me for a while, we talk all the time about how food is your medicine. And this summit is going to give you examples of that and introduce you to people who will tell you how they use food as not only medicine, but as for their livelihood and to really help us all get healthier. So I am going to introduce to you first. Our first guest is, interestingly enough, not here with us in person. All of our guests tonight will be live, but our first guest unfortunately had a death in his family. But he felt so strongly about wanting you all to have this information that he allowed us to tape his interview. So I want you all to sit back and enjoy this short interview with MJ, Michael Joseph. He is a gentleman from Guyana. He is a farmer. He's a farmer that I met at the Snellville Farmers Market. And I was just doing my regular Saturday shopping. And at that market, I promise you, and there's another one of our guests tonight that you'll meet from there as well, I find the most amazing treasures. And MJ, as he likes to be called, is one of those treasures. So I want to introduce you all to MJ, and I'm going to go ahead and play his interview. And please, please, please sit back and enjoy. Hi, I have another one of my super friends here with me tonight. I want you all to give a warm welcome to Michael Joseph, better known as MJ. I want to tell you about how I met this gentleman. I was, once again, I was out shopping and at the Snellville Farmers Market, and looking for fresh produce, fresh vegetables. And I met this most interesting farmer. And I tell you, we had the best conversation, and he sold me some foods that I was not able to find other places. And not only did he have them to sell, but he also understood the importance of why I was there to buy them and the importance of why he was present to sell them. And I told him at that time, I wanted to share him and what he does for his livelihood with an audience. And here we are. This is our opportunity to do that. This is MJ from Guyana. And he has a very, very interesting story about how he got to where he is today. And I want to share that with you. MJ, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well, Doc. I'm doing well. Excited to talk with you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I want to talk to the to our people here and let them know what an interesting life you've had. But as much as that, I want them to really understand why you do what you do and what you do, and also kind of give us some background on some of the foods that you grow. So MJ owns MJ Vegetables, and I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about how he became the owner and how he started doing what he does. Tell him, MJ, what do you do, and tell him how you started doing it.
Like you mentioned, I came from Guyana, South America, a small village. And my parents, I have to give them much of the credit because they were the ones who started the whole program. They introduced us to animals and plants. And the talk then was, if you eat well, you don't have to pay doctor bills for any of you. And doctor bills are far more expensive than food. So eat the food. We produce it, eat it. And that was how we were brought up. Subsequently, we went on our own. It was 9 of us, 6 boys, 3 girls. Each one of us, unto this day, have some agricultural project going. I'm here in Georgia. I have 5 brothers, and they're all into it. My sister back home, she's also into it. She does a lot of layers and do a lot of gardening. So it has been ingrained in us from a very, very long time.
What I love about that is it's so important to teach our family, our young people, our kiddos, that it's so important to know the ground and to know where our food comes from. Because when you do that, then guess what? They grow up knowing that, and they grow up having that be a part of what they do for their own family. So you're a perfect example of how your exposure by your parents to how important food was, and not only how important food was just for nourishment, but how important food was to keep you healthy and to keep you out of the doctor's office. So that's certainly a very important point. And I was raised very similar to that. And so the picture that I have when I was little is with my hands in the dirt. I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yes, my theory there is I'm going home and play with the dirt. That is how I describe it. When I was working, I would tell the folks, Joe, let me go and drink a beer tonight. And I said, no, I'm going home and play with the dirt this afternoon. I'm playing in the dirt.
Absolutely.
And I keep doing that all the time.
And you continue to play in the dirt even now. That's wonderful.
Definitely, until now. Some nights my wife called me, she would tap the window and say, come and admire your wife now, because I'm admiring my plants.
Well, that definitely shows your love for the garden. I definitely can.
Exactly.
I love it. Why was it important to start your company?
The idea coming to this country, I had a lot of land in Latonia where I was living before coming to Conyers. And, we were buying vegetables, my son and I said to him, why we should start doing some planting, save some money, stop buying all this food. Because, the food is being handled at Walmart and Publix by everyone. And, they look at it, turn it upside down and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we can produce it. And we started at the back of the house in the yard. And we moved on from there. It was so much that we started sharing with the neighbors.
Oh.
And the idea came, I can start selling some stuff. I went to a couple of Jamaican restaurants on Covington Highway, and yes, they started buying. This week they did well. I would do well. The next week, no, we don't want anything. We don't want anything. All right. And all the stuff left at home. And, I said to my son, I said, boy, what are we going to do with all of this? He said, Daddy, you got to find a market. And the same time, the folks in Snellville came with the idea of a farmer's market. And I jumped in that. I really jumped in it. I had a friend, I always remember him. I was doing lettuce. He said, Joe, nobody's going to buy lettuce. And I carried 55 roots of lettuce. I selected the best. And I took it to the market. I had to get a canopy. I had to get tables and these kind of things. He said, you're going to spend all the money and buy them things, you won't get sales. I said, boy, if you want to make $1, you got to spend $1. And as I sit here, I set up my booth, and 33 minutes, my lettuce was sold out.
Wow.
He called me an hour after. We had 4 hours for the market. He called me an hour after. I was already at home.
Oh, wow. Because you were done. You had sold everything.
Yes. And I told him, I get sucking blows here, boy, this thing is selling. And, I painted that picture to him.
Yes.
And he said, you see, the same thing I tell you, the same thing I tell you. And he carried on. And when I allowed him to speak, and when he finished, I said, Martin, I am at home. And, from that, I developed the desire to go bigger. And I saw how feasible it was that I went even bigger.
Yes.
And as a result, I formed my company.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, you saw the need and you grew something out of the passion that you already love to do. So I think that that's an amazing story of entrepreneurship, but I also think it's a great lesson for your son as well, to feel the need and actually help.
Definitely. Yeah. And he understands it as well. He does.
What is the most important thing that you know about how food supports the body? And it can be, specifically what foods you grow or just foods in general. What did you grow up learning? What do you know now about how food really supports our body?
I look at animals, especially four-footed animals. They live by eating mostly raw materials.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to live as close as possible to them, using green vegetables, herbs, beans, etc. Avoiding most meats.
Mm-hmm.
Most meat, sorry. I have the concept of steaming most of my food as against oil frying and that type of thing. I see it far more beneficial. And like I said, I look at the animals, especially four-footed animals.
Yeah.
They eat just everything from the ground and they live quite healthily. I can myself like that. My garden, I pick them down and
MJ, repeat that again. Repeat that again. You went a little bit out. So tell us again what you were saying about your garden. I understood that you were talking about the using the four-footed friends that we have animals to determine kind of what the best way to eat and what's the best thing to eat. But I to repeat again what you said after that, because I think that's important about your garden.
Say that again.
What were you saying about your garden? We heard what you said about the four-legged animals and how we should be eating, from the ground with like the four-legged animals. And you were mentioning about your garden and it broke up a bit.
Okay. I was saying that many days I would go out and I would cut the long beans. Sometimes I don't wash them. I just bite them up and chew them and swallow them. I would pull lettuce just like that, and I would eat it. I go for that kind of thing, a whole lot.
You mentioned the long beans. Your long beans. Tell me if you know the difference between the string beans that are grown most commonly over in the United States versus the long beans. Tell me about the long beans.
After I introduce my folks to the market to long beans, I hadn't to say it, but they said it. It's much better than the string beans. I tell them all you have to do with this is chop it up, and you can eat it raw. Well, many people don't do that. I know they don't do that. They will, some blend it.
Yes.
And there's another form of eating it raw. Some make smoothie with it.
Yes.
At the same time, some would steam it, as they call boil, they boil it. And of course, there are some who will fry it. And you'd be surprised. I had a friend who came back and tell me, MJ, you know what? I tried pickling your long beans. I came out so delicious. They went on further than me, picking it. So means enjoying the long beans. And like I said earlier, they tell me, that's what I tell them. They come and tell me, yes, MJ, you are right. It's better than the string.
They come and tell you, you don't have to brag about it. Excellent.
No, I don't. I will tell them sometimes, you know, man, tell me something I don't know.
Well, speaking, okay, so long beans is one of the products that you are known for at the Snellville market. What is the other main products that support your business at the Snellville market and other places?
There are a few others. There is callaloo, which the Jamaicans go for. It started with the Jamaicans.
I love
callaloo. And now I ask people to do the research. I will tell them a little how good it is. And I tell them, you go and Google it and do the research for yourself.
Yes.
I will tell them how to prepare it, but at the same time, you can Google it and get a little more. And they do that and they come back and say, yes, we enjoyed it. We enjoyed it. But the main thing with the callaloo, it has a lot of iron mainly, and that goes a far way. The other vegetable which I focus on a lot at the market is the bitter melon.
That's the one. Yes, tell them about bitter melon. Tell us about it.
The bitter melon, it's a fruit. As many people don't know, it's a fruit. It is described as a fruit, but it is used as a vegetable. And there are different ways of preparing a meal with bitter melon. It's a bitter stuff. It's no doubt bitter. And if you can't take the bitter, but because of the nutrition, the health benefits, which I'll mention a little later, you can simmer it down by juicing it and add like an apple, cherries, banana, all the other ingredients that you would juice. You juice and add the bitter melon in, and you put to your taste.
Yes.
I normally eat bitter melon just like that. I don't have to juice it. I eat it just like that.
Just
yeah, sometimes I eat it raw. Sometimes I juice it up. My wife, she likes the ripe one. She would juice it up and take a snap glass every morning.
Excellent.
Right?
Excellent. So,
and you know, the concept still holds before you. The concept still holds. When we eat like that, we don't have bills to pay with it up.
And I actually learned about bitter melon from one of my patients. And I would love for you to tell us now, what would most people come to you looking to use bitter melon for? Because I bet you my patient told me about, and now I buy it from you and actually cut it up and freeze it. Because so tell us what you have most people come to you and what you use bitter melon, one of the things or all the things that bitter melon is known for.
It has a lot of vitamin C. It helps in disease prevention, bone formation, wound healing.
Yeah.
It helps to reduce sugar.
Say that again.
It helps to reduce our blood sugar.
That part, yes, yes. I will tell you that is what most of my patients who normally have an island background use bitter melon for, is to help control their blood sugar. So I was so excited to run across you at the market because I had not had the opportunity to ever buy bitter melon before I met you. And so,
Okay.
yeah, I was so appreciative of the ability to find fresh, and I mean really fresh, you guys. You got to go to Snellville Market and find MJ's vegetable stand, because he has the freshest produce. So tell us a little bit more, if you will.
The bitter melon also helps in fighting and killing cancer cells in the stomach, the colon, the lungs,
Yeah.
and areas located in the back of the throat. It decreases cholesterol levels.
Yeah.
And studies have shown that it decreases cholesterol levels to support our overall heart. It assists us in weight loss. Because of its low calories but high fiber quality.
Yes.
It also decreases belly fat and
Well,
body weight.
that's that fiber in there as well, naturally
Yes.
helping to kind of take up some good positive room. And we know that fiber is so good in reducing our chances of colon cancer because it keeps our food moving. So it's almost like bitter melon is one of those superfoods that we talk about all the time, that does so much, packs so much into a small package, but it packs a big punch, a mighty punch. And I have to say, you sell the best bitter melon. You do.
I don't know if I had mentioned diabetes. It also helps in the control of diabetes.
Absolutely. If we can control our blood sugar by what we eat, and we know that we can, bitter melon has been one of those superfoods that we're definitely using in diabetic patients. So I'm very, very excited for people to know now where to get bitter melon from. So
yeah, I do a lot of that. I do a lot of bitter melons because, every year my yield increases because the world is going fastly around. The importance of bitter melon.
Exactly. We know that diabetes, hypertension are the main problems, especially in minority communities, because a lot of it's not because we were born that way. It's because of our diet choices. And
Exactly.
if we would get back to the things that we were raised on, or if we weren't raised on it, that we can teach about, and that's what programs like what I'm doing and what others are doing in the community can help to teach if you didn't have the experience. So thank you for sharing. We're going to end, but I want to ask you one more question, if I can. I want to ask you, from your experience, what would you tell my viewers, your viewers, what they should stop doing, to help improve their health? What would you suggest that they stop doing? I'm asking everybody. We know what we were teaching about all today about what we should start doing, but what would you tell them? Hey, stop this.
That is easy. That is very easy. Cut back on the fast food.
Mm-hmm.
Fast food, I describe it and I would tell anyone, is a bundle of junk.
They don't call it junk food for nothing.
That is my one suggestion to anyone. Go back to your roots and start preparing your breakfast, your lunch at home.
Yeah.
At home.
Yeah.
And do a lot of steaming, juicing. If you can, if you don't have the time to cook, just blend the vegetables together.
Great advice.
And that can go a far way. That can go a far way in getting back to where we were.
Great advice. MJ, that's great advice. I thank you so much. I want the people to know how to get in touch with you, how to find you, and have amazing opportunities of conversation with yourself, as well as to be able to purchase your produce. Tell them how they can find you and get in touch with you.
Yeah, I have my phone number, easily accessible. And again, I tend to be different. I take all calls on my phone. And I tell folks that is my style.
Wonderful.
If I don't know a number, because of my business, because of my company, I do rabbits and I do vegetables. I don't know who calling or what they're calling for. I advertise on Craigslist. So anytime I see a phone number on my phone, I would answer the phone.
Wonderful.
So
Wonderful.
you don't have a problem with that.
So
No one would have a problem with me. If I don't answer it and it rings out, when I look at my phone and I see a missed call, I will call that number and say, I missed a call from this number.
I believe you.
And hear what they have. If it is one of the scams, I shut it down. This call is recorded. Right away, I hear that, I shut it down.
Well, I'll tell you, I enjoy whenever I
apart from the phone, my email address is always there, Josie Wales 2839@yahoo.com.
Okay, say that again so they can get it. What's your email?
Josie Wales. And please don't do like some folks. Mr. Josie Wales.
You know what I
Some
love?
folks describe me as Mr. Josie is my first name and Wales is my last. I just put together the name Josie Wales. I tell folks I'm not the outlaw either, because Josie Wales was the outlaw. I am just MJ.
MJ.
Again, the number is Josie Wales 2839@yahoo.com.
And do you,
That's
MJ,
my email.
you want to share that phone number that you want them to reach you at?
Yeah, sure. 678-913-4577.
And also tell them.
And I live in Conyers.
Wonderful.
And that is not.
Go ahead.
I don't fear telling anyone where I live. I live in Conyers, 2977 Lighthouse Way in Conyers, 30013. Just get off at exit 84, Salem Road, and you'll find me 5 minutes driving into
So
Salem.
now tell them also when are you going to be at the Snellville Farmers Market?
I'll be there in April with some winter vegetables, but the full season begins in June. The first Saturday in June. I'll be having probably most of the things that I do.
First Saturday in June.
Pumpkin, watermelon, okras, long beans, bitter melon, of course, callaloo, tomatoes, green peppers, bell peppers, Scott's bonnet, one of the hottest around.
Yeah.
And so many other things.
Wonderful.
All produce, I say to everyone, by these 10 hands.
Wonderful. MJ, thank you so much. We could talk all day. I love whenever my phone rings and it says MJ on the other line. I will see you soon. Happy travels, safe travels to you. And thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thanks for having me. I know I will benefit from this discussion.
Absolutely.
I know I will. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Have a
But wasn't he a wonderful, wonderful gentleman? I'll tell you, MJ has an amazing, amazing amount of information. When I go to see the farmer's market, he will teach me how to cook things that I don't know how to cook. He'll help me to try things that I have not tried before. So if you are ever in the area, the Snellville area, the Snellville Farmers Market is a wonderful, wonderful place. And they'll be back running full time in the spring. Now I have my next guest who is coming to the stage, who is also a gentleman that I met at the Snellville market. I want to tell you that this is a gentleman who is like none other. He is probably the first one that caught my attention when I was shopping at the market, myself and my husband. And we always, for those of you all who know us, we rarely meet a stranger, and we always love a good conversation. But there was something a little bit different about Bishop Jarvis. He really, truly, he has a word, and he has a word about life. He has a word about his spirit and the spirit of others, and he has a word about food. And it's rare for me to be able to get all of that wrapped in one package. And so he as well, on another occasion, I was taken by. and really, really, truly wanted and knew that it was important, that what he had to share was necessary, because the kinds of patients and clients that I see and that my friends and colleagues see really need to understand that there are other people in the community who have the resources to help them. Now, if I tell you a little bit about Bishop Jarvis, he's founder of Daybreak World Ministries, which stems in New York, Zimbabwe, Atlanta, and Guyana. He has planted churches and farms in all of those locations. He is dedicated to educating on food economics and does this regularly on his broadcasts. He also does it regularly at the farmers market when he meets people and talks to them. He has something that really, really caught my eye. I am a fond lover of hibiscus, anything. And he, at his market, he has his company, Beatrice Cuisine. And he was selling, what, half-gallon bottles of this tonic, this concoction. And I was like, I'll try it. Sure, anything with hibiscus on, I'll try it. Let me tell you, this is some of the best hibiscus tea I had ever drank. I keep it in my house. He sells it sweetened, he sells it unsweetened. And not only that, he has an immune booster that is supposed to be taken in small dosage. It's not for the weak at heart, but I find myself just tossing it back. He has some amazing other foods that he makes, and we'll have him tell you a little bit about his company, as well as his farming and his history with farming, and why food is so important to not only him, but why he knows it's important to the community. So I'm going to bring forward Bishop Jarvis for us right now. Is everybody still hearing? All right. Now, if you had questions about anything that MJ says, you can drop it in the chat, because I definitely will pass that on to MJ and we can get him to answer those questions. Bishop Jarvis, how are you, sir? Oh, wait, we cannot hear you. We don't want to miss a word. Can you unmute yourself? You should be able to unmute yourself now. No? Is it on my end? All right. There we go. Are you able to hear? There you go.
Yep.
I see you now. There you are.
Yep.
Oh, who knew technology would be this? How are you tonight?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? How are you tonight?
Good. I'm doing good. Thank God. It's a new day, new opportunity. Good to see you. I know you might have been putting in a lot of work, so I understand some of the technical problems you may have been having. Thanks for the opportunity to touch the nations.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're so grateful that you are here tonight, and we're excited for what you have to bring. Your history is vast. You have been having your hands in food and having your hands in God's work for a long time. I want you to, if you can, to just kind of tell our audience a little bit about where you come from and how you got here.
Well, I don't really know how I got here. You know, Neil Diamond wrote a song. He says, "Nowadays I'm lost between two shores. I am, I said, and no one knows. And I am lost, and I can't even say why." You know, like MJ, I was born in Guyana, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, on top of South America, right there. Lived in New York for 30-something years. Been teaching quite a number of African nations for about 20 years, back and forth, Southern Africa, Zimbabwe, South Africa, the Congo, Malawi, Mozambique, etc. And then I left here, these United States, and I lived in Zimbabwe for 7 years. And in Zimbabwe, I ran a farm. I had a restaurant for a very short period and did some things. I've spent a lot of years in the pulpit, like from about 19 years. I'm going to be 65 years tomorrow. So go ahead, wish me happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yes.
And then I thought many years ago, you know what? I've spent a long time in the pulpit instead of the podium. The same structure, plexiglass, wood, but I realized that I could be of help more to the nations by saying some other things that people, congregants would take for granted. And food was one of the things, and biblical economics was one of the things that I found that was deep rooted in my spirit, man. So I always had a farm. I always had a gardening. You know, like MJ was saying on his piece there, every single day I do something with the soil.
Yeah.
Every single day. I compost daily, all right? Most of the stuff that we peel and so on, it's kept and turned back. I have to touch it, hold it, play with it, turn it around, see if it's dry enough, moist enough. So when I planted the farm in Zimbabwe, I grew some products. I grew a spinach and I grew hibiscus. I had a hibiscus farm. And that's when something happened because people were beginning to get healed. You know, as a preacher, we would talk healing and we teach healing. And, you know, Jeremiah said, you heal the sicknesses of the daughters of Israel slightly, saying peace, peace, when there is no peace. But when I had this farm, I noticed that I was helping people more hands-on, directly. And that's when the change came. I'm still in the pulpit, but on social media, all right? Because I decided I was not going to be that accessible to people for them to hear the things that would make them comfortable. I want to bring a change to the nations. And food was one of the ways, biblical economics and teaching people wisdom was one of the ways I was going to go. All right.
I think that is so amazing that you understood the connection so early, because food comes from God. That the food that gives us nutrients comes from God, right? And so I understand the calling of where food comes into ministry. It's like medicine. People say, you know, how is medicine a ministry? Well, every time I walk into a room with a client, with a patient, it's a ministry. And so, you know, you can connect the same with the earth and food as I connect the same with my hands touching or speaking to people. It's all a ministry. And anything that God makes becomes a ministry if you use it in how he wants us to use it. So I understand that completely. Tell me, why was it so important to start a company, your company, Beatrice Cuisine?
Beatrice Cuisine was is really my wife's idea. We are co-owners, my wife being the senior partner. And because we are a catering business. And the wife part of it, we do a lot of pastries at the Snellville Farmers Market, the Lilburn Farmers Market. And 2 weeks ago, we started at the Duluth Farmers Market. All right, the Lilburn is going to come back on at the end of May because of the change of season. So we made a lot of pastries. I was always doing the drinks since in Zimbabwe, providing the hibiscus, sorrel as we call it. All right. So I decided that I was going to start following what my wife was getting into, the cooking, by using up my energy, my time, my skill, the wisdom of God to provide these drinks because I saw that it was bringing wholeness and healing to people. And that's when we joined in. I joined in, and we decided we're going to start Beatrice Cuisine. You can find us on the social networks, Facebook and Instagram. We're there by Wednesday of every week. You're going to know where we'll be and some of the things that we're going to be bringing out. And that's where we put our foods out, and that's where we put our drinks out. People are excited.
Absolutely. It's delicious. It's delicious to say the least. But besides it just tasting good, tell me what hibiscus can do for us. Why is hibiscus important? Why did you choose hibiscus?
Sometimes in life, you may know the story about Ruth, where it says she just happened to begin to glean on a plot of ground that belonged to a guy called Boaz. Sometimes you can happen to just get into something casually, not realizing it's the thing you should have a long, long time ago. All right. And I started embracing it because you will never become what you do not embrace. I started embracing this, and then I realized that this can do a lot. And I had seeds, and I decided to plant. And then after realizing what hibiscus can do, I said, now I'm going to start bringing healing to people. All right. Now, let me tell you a little about hibiscus. Hibiscus sabdarifa, S-A-B-D-A-R-I-F-A, because there are different forms of hibiscus. Hibiscus sabdarifa carries perhaps the highest potency of antioxidant of any living plant. Any metabolic syndrome in the body, liver disease, cancer, diabetes, it will fight free radical cells because it reoxidizes your blood. So it gives you a better quality of blood going through your vital organs.
I understand.
Diabetes, it's going to address that. That's why I provide the hibiscus in unsweetened form. Even the sweetened is potent, but to give people a mind relief, because in Zimbabwe, I had people that were taking the sweetened form and their diabetic numbers were jumping off a cliff. Blood pressure. In some cases, in 90 minutes, it'll take your BP down. That's depending on your metabolism.
Really? Wow.
That's how potent it is.
Yeah.
And it's all reoxidizing and giving energy at the same time. And drinking something, because as a human, you will drink. Drinking something that you know is healthy for you and will do something to you. And that's why I planted a farm. I had a very large farm, hibiscus. Before, when I lived in Zimbabwe, I would have the products come to me. Then I said, no. I went home to Guyana. I got my seeds. I planted my farm in Zimbabwe and supplied about 15 supermarkets and where you got their coffee shops with the product. And people were excited.
I'm sure they were.
Guys were excited. Hello.
Well, tell us, we all grown here. Tell us why guys would be excited about hibiscus.
Well, I had two dogs. You call them Rhodesian Ridgebacks.
Okay.
Zimbabwe was called Rhodesia before. Very good, nice dogs. Tiger and Bruno. And at the same time, I was providing the hibiscus drink, we call it sorrel, to a couple of supermarkets in Zimbabwe. So I would make a batch, and I always had some left back. I needed food for my dogs because when they would make these lovely sandwiches and chicken salads, they're leaving back lots of nice meat.
Right.
All right. So I went over to the guys and I said, hey, could we do something? I need some meat. He said, okay, I'm going to give them some of my drink. All right. Because I would always have maybe a gallon or two left back after the new batch is completed. I started giving them that. Make a long story short, I gave the guys in the salad area some drink, and I'm busy doing what I'm doing. One day he called me. He said, boss man, come. I said, hi, what's up? He said, what is that drink you are giving me? I said, well, it's hibiscus, the same thing that I supplied to the supermarket. He said, my friend, listen, I went home to the village. He lived in what you call the rural area. You know, maybe he's from where we are. He might be traveling to Alabama, or he's traveling 2 hours. He said, I don't know. My wife asked me, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you, my friend? I said, this man from America, he gave me this drink. I don't know. sorrel was doing wonders because it's what it does in the reoxidizing, and he had the energy. And you know, Leviticus says that the life of the flesh is in the blood. When the blood is repaired, the body will follow. He warned.
Say that again, because that is very, very key. The blood of our blood is the key to life. So say that.
Blood is the key to life. Yeah. Leviticus says somewhere around like the 26th chapter or somewhere there, it says that the life of the flesh, or it means the life of the body, is in the blood.
Yeah.
You know, guys particularly want to build muscle. Muscle is nothing if the blood is weak. And that's why sometimes they're trying to buy all these things that are doing what they expect done. It's not happening. But when your blood is reoxidized, it's a better quality of blood. So this gentleman warned me. He said, my friend, you know, I live in rural area. He said, don't give me this drink now. Only give me when I'm going home every month end, because if I stay in the city, I will have problems. So that was the agreement between he and I. That's what it does. That's hibiscus, and we provide hibiscus at our place at these farmers markets in the 16-ounce bottle, and we provide it in the half-gallon bottle in both sweet and unsweetened form. We have, for want of a better word, religious clients that come knowing that they want their hibiscus unsweetened or sweetened, and if they're not at the market, they call. I can do deliveries, you know, any 15-minute radius, I can get it delivered to them, and it's been going fine. That's one of the products that we do. I don't know if I'm allowed now to say of the others.
Absolutely, absolutely. Please, I want everyone to know not only what your wares are, but where to get them. So please let them know.
Okay, the next big product, and I think this is really our big seller, is, and I walked with one. This is the one that's called the immune booster.
Yes.
This is Kill Bill.
Absolutely.
This is Kill Bill, the immune booster.
So important now as much as any time, because everyone is concerned about COVID. You know, no one wants to say it, but that's the main concern. But let me say this. There's not only COVID, there's the flu, there's colds, there's so many other immune issues that we need to be concerned about. One disease, one infection is not what we need to just concentrate on when it comes to our immune system. Our immune system fights against everything all the time. So please continue. Let them know about something like this immune booster and what's in it.
The immune booster is our main product, and it has in it, well, what it brings to you is an alkaline balance. It brings an alkaline balance, and it has some things in it. I'm going to explain that first before I tell you. Things that grow under the earth. Garlic, or I should say in the earth, because I don't know where under the earth is. All right. In the earth, garlic, ginger, turmeric, and some of these ground provisions.
Yes.
These things do not see the light of day for 5, 6, 7, 8 months. When they are ready, their leaves dry up. They want nothing else to do. They don't want to live anymore. And that's how you know they're ready. What are they ready to do? They're ready to kill whatever malady is in the human body. They don't see the light of day. They don't go through this big, you know, photosynthesis stuff and all that. They don't get a chance to do that. They're sucking up everything from the earth.
Exactly.
All the nutrients in the earth, they take it and then they say to one another, hey, we've had enough. And the leaves just die. When it comes out now, it will kill stuff. So the immune booster carries turmeric, garlic, ginger, lemon and lime juice, a little bit of honey. And it's to be taken like a little gulp every morning and evening, or two tablespoons. And it's been doing wonders. It energizes the body. One lady made a mistake. I wouldn't call it a mistake, because there is take and there is mistake. But she drank the entire half, well, she drank half of it. And by chance, she was by our stand one day hearing me tell somebody, when you take 2 tablespoons, this, that, here. She says, oh my gosh, I drank almost the whole. Then she said, oh, that's what happened. I wondered why is it that I was just going and bouncing and doing work, etc. I drank the whole thing. She was like an Energizer bunny. She kept going and going. That's how good the immune booster is. We have another product called Capadula, and persons can Google this. Capadula, Capadula. Capadula is another Kill Bill. I don't know if it's Kill Bill 1 or Kill Bill 2, but it's Kill Bill. Capadula, most of us have back problems. How? Even now with COVID, people are sitting too long.
Yes.
The back is the balance of your body. It's the middle. Our emotions are from the top to the waist. Our strength is from the waist or from our thighs going down. We don't feel too much emotion from our toes coming up. Whatever emotion we feel in the solar plexus genitalia is because of what happened from here to here. So the back feels the strain in the middle of the body. Capadula will help with the back pain, but it's also an aphrodisiac. It is like, take me home again, Catherine, across the ocean blue. All right. It is very, very good. It's called Capadula. All right. One of the things that it helps very much in is premature ejaculation. Capadula helps with premature ejaculation. So sometimes people are looking for sustained fun, you know, but they get too excited. And getting too excited is not because of their own excitement. It's just that they're not able to keep the excitement. Right. All right. Somebody said, we overestimate the event and we underestimate the process. Capadula helps you to understand, enjoy the process, and then at your own will, you can go to Mount Zion. Okay.
So how do you sell Capadula?
Capadula comes in the 16 ounce, but it also comes in the half gallon. It's to be taken as tea or just like that. If you want to add a little milk to it, it gives a nice pink color, chocolate color, and you can put sugar to taste, or you can just warm it and drink it, or you can just drink it just like that. And it works. That's Capadula, and we carry that product at the market also. I got to hurry because I don't want to take up other people's time. The immune booster, the sorrel comes in sweetened and unsweetened form, the Capadula, like I just told you about. There is Mauby, M-A-U-B-Y. That's the English version. In Haiti, it is called Mavi, M-A-V-I. In the Dominican Republic, it is called Mabi, M-A-B-I. Mauby is a bark that's grown in the Caribbean, some parts of Southern Africa. And that bark is boiled and prepared. That's making this drink called Mauby. Great for arthritis. All right. Great for arthritis. Attests to your cholesterol balance also. Mauby. It has a bittersweet taste. All right. It has I don't drink beer, but I know what it tastes like. It has that kind of feeling, but it's not yeast. It's Mauby. It is like, oh my gosh. I remember when I introduced Mauby in Zimbabwe, I was doing sorrel all the time. And I introduced Mauby at the stand where I would be at the Maasdorp market. People are listening all over the world. Maasdorp market. And whenever someone will take a glass, they will say, ah, what is this thing? And they would drink it again. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And they say, ah, what is this? I remember I had an East African client, a guy from Kenya. All right. He came over. I said, what is this? And many people never heard the word. What is this? You know, it's not some of the things we're accustomed to hearing. I said, it's Mauby. This is what it's going to do to you. And they love Mauby. Mauby, we provide Mauby in the 16-ounce bottle also, and it's a lovely drink. The thing is, we will drink something. Therefore, drink that which is wholesome and healthy, and particularly for adults. Stop drinking for taste. Drink for health. Stop having your life around here where, oh, it tastes good. I don't like how it tastes. Well, this is just a small part of your body. You better look at what it does from here coming down. And that's one of the things that that we do with the drinks. And then we have lovely pastries, Guyanese type of pastries. One of the biggest ones is the cassava pone. Cassava is yuca. Some parts of the world call it yuca, some parts call it cassava. And it's a vegan kind of thing because there is coconut milk, shredded coconut, a little bit of black pepper in it, a little bit of ginger, and it's like, use me but don't abuse me. Lovely, lovely. You can use it as dessert. I use it anytime. You know, people think you should use dessert after. I don't care. Give it to me first. That's cassava, pone, and a whole lot of other things. The food part, we're a catering service. So if people have occasions that they think are important to them and they want something different rather than pasta and Swedish meatballs, I mean, they can have some of the things that we have. You know, Michael said something earlier on his piece. We need to start using those things that we are sort of responsible for. Do a little garden, plant something, go to the bank. You know, I've come to Georgia a year and a half now, and I see these large expanses of land that people have, yet the people are sick. They could have gone back there and planted a little something, but like the word says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. I am here, my wife is here. We are here to bring knowledge to people as to how you can live better. Why live long if you're sick?
Thank you.
Why going around like the hunchback of Notre Dame? Why dragging your feet like the movie There's No Country for Old Men? You know, why do that? It's best you enjoy life.
I agree. And it's not about quantity of life, it's the quality of life.
Oh, yeah.
So I agree. I'm going to open up for your last few minutes because you've done an excellent job of sharing tonight. And I'm so grateful, Bishop, for your presence here tonight. As I said to you all, I told you he is a plethora of knowledge and a wonderful gentleman. So we talk all day and all night. But I want to give you all an opportunity, if anyone has any questions for Bishop Jarvis, that you can unmute yourself and ask or raise your hand, and I will unmute you. Or you can put it in the chat as well. One of the questions is about the actual timing of the farmers market. When is the farmers market open?
First one, the Snellville Farmers Market, sort of our main market. At the moment, because of the winter spring season, it's the first and third Saturdays of every month. First and third, between 9 and 12. Okay. First and third, and you can pick it up on their page, Snellville Farmers Market, or you can pick it up through us, Beatrice Cuisine, because it'll tell you where they are and where we are. It's just on the 78 here in Georgia and Main Street. All right, Snellville Farmers Market. Well, when May finishes, that market is going to become every Saturday. Okay. From the end of May, it will be every Saturday between 8 and 12:30. Okay, so May is going to be just around the corner. The Lilburn Farmers Market is shut up right now, like Jericho, and it's going to open up, I think, at the end of May. And that runs from the end of May until October. That's going to be every Friday evening between 4 and 7. All right, that's where we started first. Wonderful. But the Snellville market has taken away the spin because they're Saturday mornings. And then recently we started the Duluth Farmers Market. That's on Sundays between 2 and 6. Wonderful. In the evening, between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. The Duluth, all our products are going to be there. And we provide different products. We don't like to bring the same thing every week. So with the food part, we'll do some things on this Saturday and another something on the next Saturday or Sunday. So you can have an array of the different things that we are willing to do. Those are the 3 markets we're on right now. Plus when the season opens up and they have these festivals, etc. We let you know on our page, Beatrice Cuisine, Beatrice Foods GY, Facebook or Instagram, which ones we're going to be at, so you can pick up your product. And but more than that, you can get to know us, because I think relationship has a lot to do with your health, because people are not ready sometimes to ask questions to people they're not comfortable with.
Correct.
You
Correct.
know,
All about relationship.
yeah. So
100%.
just get to know what we do, ask questions, try the product. One thing leads to another. We refer you to somebody else that does something, and your life is better. All right. Don't have those questions pent up in you guys. Ask them, and we're gonna answer them for you.
Absolutely. So community is everything. I know that your wife, I think, has put some information in the chat. My next and final question for you is how do they get in touch with you? I see that she's dropped a phone number as well.
That's the phone number.
404-618-3835.
That's
And
us.
also they do ship and deliver. So you all are in luck. This, when I tell you, I didn't share with you initially, you may wonder how I came up with this super group of friends that I'm bringing to you tonight. Everyone that's on tonight, I have had a personal relationship with, or a personal relationship with their product. These are the things and the people that I use personally. People stop me all the time and say, well, Doc, what do you do? You know, do you really do all these things that you tell us to do, to do? And the answer is yes, I do. It's a lifestyle. We're all growing in it. Nobody's perfect in it. We're all learning every day. I'm learning every day. I'm taking notes just like you are, because every conversation I have with people like Bishop Jarvis, I learn more things. And so, yes, I use all of his foods, even the pastries, because a home baked pastry is 10 times better than something you buy in the supermarket. So I would prefer, if I'm going to go and eat a sweet, I'm going to eat something that hopefully either I've made or someone I know has made. And eating his food, and he and his wife's food, is like eating something out of my own kitchen. Bishop Jarvis, thank you so much for coming on tonight. I know that the audience has been extremely blessed by your presence here tonight. And I bet you're going to see a few new faces out at the farmers market too.
When they come by, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to them. But when they do come by, and I trust that they do at our varied markets, let them say to us they were on the Zoom. All right. I'm not going to say what I'm going to do. You know. Okay. But they can come on and say they were on it on such and such and such, and I'll know what to do.
Well, let me tell you, you all make sure when you see Bishop Jarvis at Beatrice Cuisine booth at one of those farmers market, make sure you say, I was on the Food for Life Zoom with Dr. Monica. He is going to do something wonderful for you. I promise you he will. Thank you, Bishop Jarvis. You are amazing. And I appreciate, I told you all were going to get some goodies tonight. So thank you, Bishop. I so appreciate you. You know I do.
Thank you so much, Dr. Monica. We appreciate you.
And I'll see you soon.
Yep.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Everybody give him a hand clap in your own homes, because that is the one, the only Bishop Jarvis. All right. So our next guest can you all see me? I pin myself, I guess. There we are. So I told you, every guest that we have tonight is that spectacular. And so I want you all to tune in, tell a friend, call somebody, bring somebody in. You have the Zoom link, and you all can absolutely share that and bring someone in. Now, what I will say to you is, by registering, we had a little snafu as far as technology and the link, but by registering, I have all of you all's the ability to make sure all of you all get your free gift from me, which is a cookbook. So at the end of this tonight, you all will get a cookbook from my heart to you all, along with all the other special bonuses that my friends are going to give to you as well for tuning in tonight. So stay tuned, and make sure if you have not registered already, please do register. It's not too late, because we won't be able to send you out your free gift without that. There's also, at the end, I'm going to offer you another opportunity as well. So you have to stay tuned to see what that is. And please tell someone else about this good news that we're sharing tonight. So my next guest, I can't tell you how excited I am to call this next young lady one of my super friends. She is just that dynamic, that amazing. And what she does is second to none. I have not met anyone who does what she does in the way she does it. My next guest that I'm bringing to the stage is Miss Yolanda Owens, owner and operator and all around yogi of plant-based day spas. She is actually the owner of Iwi Fresh here in Atlanta Day Spa. She has a product line as well. And she also owns an Oasis here in Atlanta as well, or she is definitely the organizer of that. And I'm going to have her tell you more about that. Atlanta, she is one of your own. She is a homegrown spirit and a beautiful spirit at that. I had the opportunity to visit Iwi Fresh myself on a few occasions. And I'll tell you, there's nothing like the experience of going to Iwi Fresh. Have you ever been to a spa where everything in the spa comes from the ground? And I mean, straight from the ground. This beautiful person makes spa products from our own fruits and vegetables. It is the most relaxing, the most surreal and serene place to visit. You walk in the door and there are plants everywhere and you can feel the energy. And if you're lucky enough for her to be there when you get there, you will feel her energy as well. I have seen her from a distance, but recently I've been able to touch her from close up. As I said, she is homegrown from Atlanta. She is a product of HBCUs. She grows gardens and she uses those gardens to treat us. And I'm going to have her come and tell you exactly how she does this. And then she's going to do a little treat for us as well and give you an example of her doing that. I want to introduce to some and reintroduce to others, Miss Yolanda Owens of Iwi Fresh. We call her the yogi of the skincare farmer. I'm going to pin her now. Come on in, Miss Yolanda. There she is, beautiful. Let me make sure you're unmuted. I don't want them to miss a thing. It's probably me. There you are.
Okay, there I am.
There she is. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. How are you? What a wonderful introduction.
Oh my goodness. You are, you are Atlanta's best. You are an Atlanta's best, one of many, but you are definitely Atlanta's best, one of my favorite places. And I'm really thrilled that you are here with us tonight. How are you doing tonight, Miss Yolanda?
I am feeling fresh, feeling so good. Iwi Fresh.
Iwi Fresh. Now, first, before we start, tell everyone, what does Iwi stand for?
Iwi stands for it is what it is, because that's what it is.
That's what it is. That's what it is. That's wonderful. Tell me a little bit about why was it important for you to start Iwi Fresh?
Well, I always like to say the real founder of Iwi Fresh is my grandmother, because that's who inspired me. When I was a little girl, I had eczema. And my grandmother had one of those non-traditional gardens where she would just throw some seeds out and things would grow. And we call grandmother the home remedy queen. And so she was the home remedy queen, healing everybody from everything from the kitchen to the garden, you name it. And she healed my eczema. So she inspired me to want to carry that legacy on. My son, fast forward, my son had eczema and I wanted to heal his, and I went to dermatologists and all the high-end products off the counter, and he started having all different type of side effects and it wasn't working. So I had to revert back to grandma's recipe, and reverting back to grandma's recipe is really what inspired me to create Iwi Fresh.
Wonderful, wonderful. Was it something that you started at your house, or did you, start out at a brick and mortar? How did you start that?
I literally start by creating a solution for my son, Austin's eczema, which was at my home, and it grew into, a business. It's something that I really got passionate about. I come from a career background. My career background is engineering. I have an actual engineering degree. And I worked in corporate America as an engineer for many years. But as I was in corporate, I was creating this product for Austin for his eczema. And I got really passionate about it, and people wanted me to create, products for them. And so next thing you know, I turned into this little mad scientist, and I started creating products, and I was doing it out of my home. And, it was really the passion. What really, really ignited me was when I started creating these products for my son's eczema. I started deep diving and researching and realizing how toxic the products that are over the counter and how much chemicals were in there and how much we as consumers did not know. And so, once I really kind of pulled back the banana peel and really got deep and saw what was really, really happening in this world to the products, the personal care products, it was like there was no way that I could even use the products over the counter. So I wanted to educate and create products so that our community would be aware.
No, excellent. And it's so true. A lot of people don't understand the biggest organ that we have is our skin.
Absolutely.
And it's also our immune system. It's our first defense.
Yeah.
So what we put on our skin, it's the same as what we put in our body. So what we eat is either going to kill us or heal us. So what we put on our skin gets absorbed into our bloodstream the same as you eat, right? So what I find most amazing about what you have dedicated your life to doing is that you actually address that. And so how did you determine what foods were going to be the best that could be put on the body to help the body?
Well, that was kind of where my engineering background came in. I started really deep diving into what was on the product, what was on the counter that people were really trying to get more. They wanted vitamin C, they wanted more retina, they wanted more, anti-aging. We had more, acne, staying young. So what were those ingredients? And it was a lot of vitamin C, a lot of vitamin E, high in antioxidant. So I really started deep diving into the vegetables and the fruits and the herbs that were high in antioxidant, vitamin C, and all those different minerals. And that was kind of how I started creating what vegetables and what herbs to go into the products. When I deep dive and I realized I went back to school and became an esthetician. I went back and took some nutritional classes and herbal certification to really understand the skin, understand the herbs, understand the nutrition factor, and really was able to kind of put those together. Because what I realized, like you said, the skin is the largest organ of the body, and it absorbs.
Yes.
And I realized that, women, well, just not women, but people, we're putting 5 pounds of toxin in our body a year.
Right.
I mean, just daily.
Yes.
And 80% of that is not even tested for safety. What are y'all doing? Not even tested for safety. Mm-hmm. And it only takes 26 seconds to get into the bloodstream. It only takes 26 seconds to get into that bloodstream.
Wow.
And once it gets in there, like you said, it gets into our bloodstream, not just by what we're eating, but by what we're breathing, the environment, and then what we're putting on our skin.
Yes.
Yeah, which causes a toxin overload in our bodies. Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that. What I do as a functional medicine physician, board certified in family medicine, but specializing in functional medicine, is really attack that which attacks us. Because as you're saying, we don't really even think about all the toxins and where they're coming from. We just think, well, I'm not drinking, poison, so I'm okay. But we don't understand that the exhaust from the cars, the things that we put on our bodies, those are all, if we're not careful and we're not very particular about what those things are causing toxins. And sometimes you may be having headaches. Sometimes you may be having allergies, not just a rash, but nose or breathing issues, asthma. And it's because of something that you use every day. And so when you're using your products, I tell people you can be allergic to almost anything. I say anything. So yes, you can be. If you're allergic to avocados, then guess what? You're allergic to avocados. But the chances of you being allergic or toxin buildup coming from foods is so much less than the things that we're buying on the counter. So that's why what you're doing and what you're teaching is so very important. We've talked about a lot about what the things that and how you got to be where you are and the foods that you use. Tell us a little bit about the things that you would say stop right now, because it is really harming us as a community and, you know, as people.
As a community, in our urban community, in our Black community, I say stop using Vaseline. Okay. Vaseline, because, you know, and I get a lot of pushback from that. But I tell people, look at the front of the jar of Vaseline. What does it say? Petroleum. What is petroleum? What is petroleum? I asked that question. What is petroleum?
It comes from fires.
And gasoline. Yes.
Yeah.
So, you know, I say that to my urban, because I know I grew up on Vaseline. Everybody grew up on Vaseline. We all had our big jars, and I know a lot of people still do Vaseline. But we really just have to pay attention to, I mean, because really a lot of it says it's right in our face.
Yes.
But we get lured by the package and, you know, and the commercials. And the one big dangerous thing out there about personal care products is that there's no real FDA regulations around personal care products. There's FDA regulations around food, but not personal care. So manufacturers do not have to tell you what everything is in there, because there's no regulations around that. And it hasn't been since 1938, you know, so it's been a long time. And so we don't have to tell you if they got dog poo-poo in there and I got a big aloe leaf on the front and saying it's going to make you look 10 times younger. But I also got some gasoline in there and some antifreeze in there, but I don't have to tell you that. Right. I don't have to tell you that. So that's the real big danger around personal care products. And we're talking about shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, makeup, body lotion, all of those things, toothpaste, yes, mouthwash, all of these things fit into the personal care category.
You're so right. You're so very right. There's a talk that I give on about organic versus natural versus all the wording that we use in advertising. And unfortunately, they really are just words. And a lot of, you know, unless you're educated about what those words mean, they use colors, the colors of boxes, greens and aloe vera leaves and things. And if you actually read the back of the label, it is no good for you at all. Something could be 100% organic and actually be horrible for you if you're trying to watch your blood sugar, or, you know, so you really need to know what you're reading. You need to know what things mean. And less is more is one of the things less is more. Yes. The less ingredients, the better. So that's important for people to remember in general before you learn any of the rest of it. If you just don't know anything, less is more. Something that has 3 or 4 ingredients is so much better than something that has 20 most of the time. Yes.
I agree. Totally agree.
Miss Yolanda, what could you show us, if you could? What can we do at home? If for those who are, because we have people from all over the country. So what would we do at home? And we have a lot of homegrown Atlanteans as well. But what could we do at home to help us to stay beautiful and stay healthy? Something you could possibly show us tonight?
Yeah, so I'm going to shout this out to all my West Side, Southwest Atlanta homegrowners, okay? You know, I'm from Adamsville, so if I have any Adamsville people on, I'm going to shout you guys out. But yes, there's so many things you can do. I mean, like you said, less is more. I celebrate simplicity. I mean, I think that's what we have to get back to. If you cannot pronounce the ingredients, then don't put on your skin. If you can't eat it, don't put it on your skin. That's pretty much my rule. If you can't put it in your mouth, you can't eat it, and you can't pronounce it, then do not put it on your largest organ of your body, because it will absorb into your bloodstream and cause all type of illnesses that we, like you said, allergies, thyroids, things that we're discovering and we don't know where it's coming from. A lot of times it's coming from that what we're putting on the largest organ, because we're putting it in our hair, we're putting it on our face, we're putting it in our body, we're putting it in our mouth.
Yes.
And so, I do want to piggyback off of what Bishop said too. I love how he talked about how we focus on taste.
Yeah.
And so for skincare, we focus on smells.
Hmm.
And fragrance oils are one of the toxin chemicals out there. It's so toxin in fragrance oil, but we've been so taught that if it smells good, then we want it. So
Right.
we have to kind of move away from these smells because they're toxin. So
Right.
that's a whole nother show, but I wanted to throw that out there.
No, I think
Okay.
that's very, very important. I think that's a really good walkaway point with too, because we want it to smell like roses or berries all the time. And to get to that point, talking about those ingredients, natural ingredients, that is a very good point, that it may be something if you actually saw it or knew where it came from, you wouldn't want it anywhere close to you. So thank you for that point.
Yes. So at home, I'm big on this. I know if you can't see it, but this is an avocado. Avocado will be your skin's best friend. Hopefully you're not allergic to it. And if you're not, then would be great. Avocados is so high in antioxidant, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin K. I mean, it's so great. And it acts as a natural moisturizer. It's really good for the winter time because our skin tends to dry out with all the weather and all the humectants that's in the air. So the avocado is really good. I mean, and you can't never use enough of it. And it's just simple. You know, when you buy it, make sure you get it where it's really ripe, where it's very soft, so you don't have to smash it, so it can go on your skin very smoothly. I just take the avocado. I'm going to show you what I do. I just cut it in half. Hopefully,
Is there any truth to the fact that you should be able to pull that little stem at the other end of it off? That's how you know it's ripe.
That's what they say. It works sometimes, but not all the time.
Okay. Okay.
So, you know, it works a lot. So I just get in the habit of I think the best thing to do is just feel it. If it feels hard, then it's too hard.
Okay.
You want to get it to where it's very soft and very cushiony. Okay.
All right.
And if you like to eat avocado, the great thing about this, putting it on your skin, is you can eat it too. So you can eat it and put it on your skin at the same time if you like it. I love avocado. Right. So you open it up. I just cut it in half. The other thing about this, and I'll show you, is that this, the seed acts as a really good massage. So you can kind of massage your skin with that seed. And you can wash the seed off and use it like as a hand massager, hold your hand in it. I mean, there's so many great things you can do. And then you can actually put this in water and grow another avocado, okay? And then put it into soil. So you can also repurpose, you can propagate this avocado. So you can take the seed and you can grow other avocado. You can grow an avocado plant, okay? So when you take it out, it's very soft here. You know, people use spoons or whatever. I'm raw, so I use my hands. This is my bowl, and this is my spoon. Okay. Now you can use all of that, but I just take it clean. Wash your hands. Grab the avocado out with your fingers. Don't be scared to use things. That's another thing. We have to get back to the basis of being able to touch and feel these things that come from Mother Nature. Don't be scared to get your hands in and get them in there and put it on your hands. Don't be scared to do that. But I know, but if you
they said put your foot in it, back in the day.
Put in it, but if you don't want to get your hands dirty, that's okay. I'm okay as long as you get some avocado on your skin. Okay. So I mushed it up and just mush it like that. Real simple, very simple. You don't need any extra. You don't need to add nothing extra to it. Just keep it simple. Okay. Take it and just start putting it onto your skin. Yep. And just kind of pat it on. Remember, your face is very delicate. It's a different texture on your face than it is on your body. So on your face skin, you want to be gentle with it. Don't be so rough. Even when you wash your face, don't just rub your face down. Pat dry it. Be very gentle with your face, because as we grow older, the elasticity in our skin the gravity does go down. And so some of the things you can do is pat dry, be gentle. Even when you sleep, don't sleep so hard on your skin. Kind of just be very gentle with the face. Okay. Well, these type of avocado helps with elasticity, helps with anti-aging, helps keep your skin firm. And you want to put it on. make sure the around your eye area is another very, very extra thin layer of skin. So whenever you're putting things on your face, like mask and avocado, try to avoid around the eye area, okay? But when you do moisturizer, you can put moisture under the eye so you can keep that moisture. Another thing that I tell people, I'm looking at myself in this Zoom
Beautiful,
as
beautiful.
as my mirror. And I tell people, this is beauty right here. When you can take fruits and vegetables and put them on your skin, this is what you call beauty. This is beauty, y'all. Okay?
Absolutely.
Feeding. And so one of my mottos for eRefresh is feeding your skin the truth. This is the truth, y'all. This is where it's at. And so the other thing that I tell people, and I got on this shirt, so I can't really do it, but to get your neck. Your neck, your face is actually around your hairline all the way to your collarbone. That is your face. So everything above the collarbone and up, that's the same skin texture. It's that very thin, fragile skin. So you have to make sure you get your neck. Everybody usually wants to stop right here. No, you got to get the neck. You got to get the neck. So treat your neck. So here we are. You put your avocado on, smooth it on, and see if you get one that's really smooth. It just goes on so smooth and it feels so good. You'll be surprised what avocado will do for your skin. You will be surprised. If you've never done it, try it. Just try it. And then once you rinse it off, you're going to just love your skin because it's going to be so smooth and just so soft. And so you leave it on. Usually what I do is I'll put mine on and either at night or in the morning, right before I get in my shower. So I just put it on and then I just kind of walk around the house and do whatever I'm going to do. Then I jump in the shower and I rinse it off when I'm in the shower. I always say leave it on for a minimum of 5 minutes. Okay. You can go longer, but at least has to be on there a minimum of 5 minutes. Okay.
I know avocado has a lot of omega-3 fatty acids in it. We love to use it as one of the good oils when we're telling people to eat it. For your cholesterol, for bringing down your cholesterol, because there are oils that we do need, and that avocado contains that omega-3 fatty acid. So it would only make sense that putting it on your skin, once again, it's absorbing in that way as well.
Yeah. And then, you know, the beauty of it is that if you like avocado, guess what?
Dinner is served.
You can eat it. So here you go. eRefresh. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Beautiful as always. You are a doll and a diamond. Let me ask you now, if people want to get in touch with you, because you do have products, and I know your products are so fresh that I know sometimes they even need to be refrigerated. Do you sell your products so that people can purchase them, outside of the city?
Oh, yes. So we have a whole veggie face line. Okay. I didn't bring everything, but I did bring my top seller here.
Okay, great.
My 14 karat glow. We have a whole veggie set line. We have Squash It Out cleanser. We have our 14 karat glow moisturizer. We have our lettuce toner and our carrot. So that's our squash, carrot, lettuce, sometimes cucumber line. So that's our veggie face. We have a serum that's made with sweet potatoes, collard greens, and black eyed peas. And so everything is all fresh, it's all natural. We did pivot to a powder base, so we dehydrate our ingredients so that you can have a longer shelf life. Our products, our veggie products and our serums are in 6 local Whole Foods here in Atlanta. So you can
let's stop and celebrate that.
Let's celebrate that.
Because tonight we're not only celebrating food, but we are really celebrating these amazing entrepreneurs. That is wonderful and amazing, and a feat to be said, to be in a major food brand, food line such as Whole Foods. So I'm gonna give you your kudos on that, sis. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Tell us also about the Oasis.
So yes, so I partnered with another wonderful Yolanda Niels, and her name is Yolanda as well. So it's the House of Yolandas. And we have a wellness spa. Well, it's not a spa, it's a wellness space
Yeah.
over in Iwi Fresh Farm Oasis over in Lakewood, over in the lake by the Lakewood Amphitheater.
Yeah.
And so it's a wellness healing space where you come in, you change into your fresh fit. We give you a robe and we change into your fresh fit. It's like a resort right smack dead in the community, in the center.
Okay.
You come in, we have a Himalaya salt room, we have plant therapy, we have a dry sauna, infrared sauna, we have Reiki, we have a chiropractor, we have acupuncturists, we have sound therapy, we have yoni, we have waist beads. It's all of that in one space.
Wow.
And it's a place to come for us, by us, with us. We call it, there's a place in Atlanta called Jeju. So we call this the
Right.
FUBU Jeju.
Yeah.
And you get to
For us.
come and chill out. Yeah. So it's a place, a healing space. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're doing some amazing things in the community. You're doing some amazing things for the health of the community. And I'm just so grateful to know you. I'm so grateful to be able to come to your spot and to take advantage of the beautiful people as well as the amazing services. I mean, when I say your spa is second to none, I enjoy good spa services. And when I first got to Atlanta, I was like, okay, wait a minute, I keep hearing about Iwi Fresh. I gotta go. And it is definitely one of my favorite. When my family treats me, I love to drop in, and now I can take myself. So I just want to say thank you so much for sharing everything that you shared tonight. I understand you got a little gift for someone special. We'll probably go ahead and raffle that off. Do you have something that you want to give to somebody special?
Yes, go ahead and announce that. You want to go ahead and announce it?
Well, we have a gift certificate that some lucky person will be getting. We're gonna take everyone who has attended tonight. We'll put you in a raffle, and you will receive a gift certificate from Iwi Fresh. And I will tell you, any gift from Iwi Fresh is a good gift from Iwi Fresh. So stay tuned to your email, because Yolanda has been very generous with that gift certificate, and we are gracious for her for that. Thank you so much.
I'm excited about that. And I'm gonna piggyback off of a pay it forward from Bishop. So if you come to Iwi Fresh and you say that you were on this Zoom call, I'm gonna pay it forward like Bishop. I ain't gonna tell you what you're gonna get, but you're gonna get something real special. I like what he did.
Absolutely. I love it. Paying it forward. That's what we're doing here. Yolanda, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm going to go rinse this off. So when you put it on your face, you rinse it off and then you pat dry, and then you can follow up with your 14 karat moisturizer.
Excellent. Where can they find you? Give the people what they want. Where can they find
you? You can find us on our website, iwifresh.com. That's iwifresh.com. You can also go to all the social media handles at iwifresh, Iwi Fresh. You can call us. You can call us at 404-577-8072. You can, what else can you do?
Instagram, Facebook.
All the social media handles. Instagram, Facebook is Iwi Fresh. TikTok, Iwi Fresh. Matter of fact, I should have did a TikTok with this. TikTok, Iwi Fresh. I mean, call us. We're downtown. Our spa is actually located in downtown Atlanta. We're in Castleberry Hill. We're right by the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, 341 Nelson Street, Atlanta, Georgia, 30313. And then our Oasis location is over by Lakewood Amphitheater. So yes, give us a call. Come and check us out.
Excellent. Thank you for your generosity. Yolanda actually also sponsored my unveiling celebration this past weekend. Your generosity is endless. We love you. You are royalty. You are royalty. Thank you so much. Iwi Fresh, y'all. Give Miss Yolanda a hand. Give her a hand.
Yes. Bye, y'all. Go get your avocado mask.
Absolutely. They're eating you up in the chat. They said they're coming.
Come on. All right. Bye, y'all.
Okay, y'all have a good night. Thank you so much. All right. Well, you all, I told you. Really amazing guest tonight. Superpowers in the world of food, beauty, and all around health. So thank you for Miss Yolanda Owens and Iwi Fresh for coming and speaking to us tonight. Did you all learn anything from Miss Yolanda tonight? I hope you did. I hope you all took all of that in. And please go and support, go ahead and purchase her line. You can purchase it online. You can, if you're local, you can get it at Whole Foods. She's amazing. And if you're coming to Atlanta, make an appointment. Go see them over there. There's amazing people there who are helping out every day. Yolanda is there sometimes as well. If you get an opportunity to see her, you are in for a treat as well. And they do pedicures, they do massage. When I think the last time I went, they had a young lady who, or I guess she was a young person who had a nail polish line that she had put out, an organic nail polish line, or vegan, excuse me, or a nail polish line. And I tell you, colors beautiful, lasted amazingly, just like any nail polish that you would ever use before. So things like that, as we said before, the things that go on your body are just as important as what goes in your mouth, because it all gets absorbed into your bloodstream. Very, very important. All right, we're gonna keep this party going. We're gonna keep this party going. I have another girl from the ATL. Well, she's not from the ATL, but she's in the ATL. She's actually from up where I'm from, as they say, where I'm from. She's an East Coaster, but transplanted here to Atlanta, and an Atlanta staple. Now, let me tell you the story about how I first ran into Miss Saria. Well, I didn't run into her, but I ran into her products. I used to live in Louisiana, of the many places that I've lived. And that is probably the first time I tried curl definition. I've been natural most of my life. And I have just kind of worn my hair in a bun or pulled it back, or who knows. And so I was looking for something that would give my curls some definition. And so I was looking for something that was natural, and something that would do better than some of the things I had on market that wouldn't make my hair dry and wouldn't make it crunchy. So I gave this small little product called Curl Definition a try. And it's interesting because we all have different types of hair, textures hair, curls of hair. And so people will assume that there's good, bad, all that, throw all that out the window. The truth of the matter is that you can have multiple types of hair on your head, which I do, which makes it so much more difficult for me to find a product that really shows my hair in the best light. Well, Curl Definition was that product. And I was like an addict, because if I ran out, I absolutely was going bananas. So when I moved to Atlanta, well, I knew that she was in Atlanta. And so when I moved to Atlanta, I was so excited because I would finally be in the same place as this amazing product, and hoped one day to be able to meet the person behind this product. And here we are today, you all. I actually have Miss Saria on my program. So we're going to introduce Miss Saria, and I'll tell you a little bit more about her as I bring her in. Saria, you there? Oh, I gotta unmute you. You know how I should have done that first. I'm learning, y'all. All right. All right, she's coming in.
All right.
There she is.
Hi, Dr. Monica.
Hello, beautiful. How are you? Thank you so much for coming today.
Wow, I'm grateful to be here.
I appreciate you. So I'm going to tell you, I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. I am girl
Yes, ma'am.
down here. I don't know if I have any other, and my serum is over here somewhere. Yeah, this is the truth. This is the truth. This is the truth. I want to tell you a little bit about this beautiful person. She's a 20-year plus veteran of natural hair care products and specialists. She actually works with what we call kinky hair, coily hair. She found a product. She made a product, not found a product. She made a product that is for us, by us. And it actually is from natural ingredients, which is what really got my attention the most. I don't know if she still does it exactly the same way, but when I first started using her, you had to keep it in the refrigerator. I love that. I love that. My family
with us a long time.
with you. I've been rocking with you a long
Yeah.
time. Yes. And I tell you, I got excited the other day and my husband laughed at me. I called him in my office. I was like, I had some snacks, some beef snacks. And I don't eat stuff a lot. So I kind of put it in my drawer, put it away. They got moldy. And I called them in my office and I was excited because they got moldy, because nothing gets moldy anymore. And so I'm always excited when something has to be refrigerated. Yolanda's products a lot of times had to be refrigerated, and we can find other ways to preserve things with natural things as well. And preservatives in themselves are not always bad, but the less is more. But I will tell you, I was so impressed with your products. You found something that works on all hair types, and you found something that is naturally based. You at the holy grail, as they say, you're a game changer in the field, because you make our own natural curl pattern pop. You don't give us a curl pattern, you celebrate the curl pattern that we have. And it is one of the things that I love. You also, what I have to say is, because people who know me know, I don't always wear my hair like this. I switch it up all the time. You may find me locked, you may find me braided, you may find me blown out and pressed. Your product keeps my hair healthy enough to do whatever I want. And that's one of the things that my hairdresser always comments on, is that, you know, how natural and how healthy your hair is. And it's because I've been using this when all the time. So it's nothing for me. And I don't feel, like, oh man, I gotta do a washout. I love this style as much as I love my blowout style. And I just wanted the opportunity to get a chance to talk to you about how you developed this company. Why was food important? Why was it important to make a product that was based in nature? And, and talk to me a little bit about this journey. This is Miss Saria. Y'all give her a warm welcome. She's come to talk to you and give you some great information.
Thank you. And it's so funny listening to your guests, how along the line, our journeys are so similar.
Yes.
Our journeys are so similar, because I began, like you said, I've been a natural hair care specialist for over 20 years. I started actually when I was at Morgan State University in Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? So hair care got me through college, throughout my life, throughout the journeys of my life. And so in the salon, you're doing people's hair and there weren't products out there for us.
Right.
And the fact of the matter is, until up recently, the products and the salon services did the main focus on undoing our texture. We're like straightening, different things, texturizer, tucking our texture away.
Yeah.
Protective styles, twist braids, or just completely covering it.
Right.
So most people that would come to me wouldn't even know that they had a curl pattern. Right?
Yeah.
And so then when I would go to do their hair, they're looking at me and they're like, so is that a rasset? Is that a twist out? No, it's my natural texture.
Right.
Well, so what do? You have this same texture. And I would grow to showing people that they have a natural texture. And so I would have to go to the store and cocktail.
Yes.
This product, that product, this product, that product, to make it work together. And so I had already started making my products for moisture, for strengthening the hair, having those products that have, as your guest talked about, antioxidants.
Yeah.
Antiseptic properties, antimicrobial, antifungal properties. So all these herbs, teas, oils, essential oils, all these different things I was cocktailing together for like locks and for locks and twist styles and different things like that. Now it's like, okay, how do we get the functionality and the efficacy of defining our natural curl pattern to the point where I can do it in the salon, they can go home and live in it for a couple of weeks until they come back, right? Yes. And so that's where it came in, because I have I say my superpower is having a ferocious curiosity.
Good.
And I just deep dive into studying, you know what I'm saying? There's one thing to study hair, there's another thing to study hair care, there's another thing to have product knowledge, right?
Correct.
And
Correct.
so that's how it all started.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And like I said, I've been working with you for a long time, and I say that I can tell that you study this, because I've seen just your product development. You know, your product development when I first started with you. You know, you've upped the game. You've upped the game. Now you still have. I understand completely. Now, even now, you've got a serum for growth also.
Yeah.
And so, and when I got your oil, you got food in here.
You see that hibiscus right there?
There you go.
Talking about.
Right. And so here, isn't it amazing when this is across the board. This is one of the beautiful things, and why I was so passionate about wanting to do this, is that because we're all talking the same languages. We're not saying that you need a million different things. Turmeric keeps coming up, hibiscus keeps coming up, garlic comes up, herbs, avocado, all of these things come up, aloe. Tell us about what would you say is the main food product, the main plant product that really serves in your line.
So aloe vera is huge because of all of those properties that we've mentioned. And then it's a humectant. And so natural hair is innately dry.
Yeah.
And so we need humectants that their function is to draw moisture into the hair. One thing that a lot of people don't realize is that your hair has a moisture level. And what you want to do is build your hair's moisture level so that you can not only not look dry, or the aesthetic, things that we look for that means moisturized hair, but also so that the products that you put on don't just sit on your hair and dry out automatically.
Right. So because that's why every day I use it, it's a day, another day is better. Like it's every day, really, my curls get more defined. Right. And so it's almost like you don't even want to, wash it out. You don't even want to start over again. Yeah. Because when I tell you all, every day is a better day. So I at least go a week to 2 weeks when I'm doing, curl definition, because every day is a better day. I'm fly by day 7. I'm like, by day 1, you're good.
And that's something.
By day 7, you can't touch it. You cannot touch it. So every day is a better day, because I guess what you're saying is that we're treating the hair. We're giving the hair what it really needs.
Right. Because a lot of times we look at hair care as being styling.
Yeah.
And styling isn't necessarily hair care. And again, when you have dry hair, you have to build it, or the product's just going to sit on. Any moisturizing agent that's been put into that product, your hair is just going to draw that moisture out of the product, and it's just going to sit on your hair, right? So it's not functioning properly. So you have to build that moisture level. And as you said, as you continue using it, you're building the hair, the characteristics of the hair.
Of the natural hair. You're enhancing what the natural hair has. So some people think when we talk about hair care that we're talking to the ladies only, because we've got some men on here. Tell us about how men enjoy your product as well, and how important it is. Because I have a son, and I promise you, his hair is as important to him as mine is to me. So tell me what your experience has been with men and their acceptance to using natural hair care products.
So I get a lot of women who have sons that want to grow the hair out, and the hair is dry and it is hard and coarse. And so once they start using it, the young men like it because it's low maintenance, right? Yeah. And then a lot of professionals, now that it's understood that our hair and our culture is one, and in the professional environment, we're able to grow our hair more. They still want it to look kept, right? Correct. So a lot of them use it because it keeps the hair with shine, it keeps it soft, it looks kept. So that's it. And then the oil that you show, It's used for your hair, your scalp, and your body. So a lot of the guys are like stealing it for the beard, using it on their body. Yeah. So
Yeah.
and then they love how it smells. So
Excellent. And you're coming from a natural standpoint, so all of it's good and it's soaking into the body, just like we were talking about earlier, that skin is being nourished by your products and not being dried out or taken away. That's wonderful.
yeah.
That's wonderful. So aloe sounds like it's a major component in your products. What would you tell people to stop doing that they're doing? One thing that you could tell them to stop doing that they're doing if they were going to kind of improve the health of their hair or their
What-
body.
So look, we talked about how styling and hair care aren't always simultaneous.
Mhm.
So you might have a wonderful stylist, but if they're not hair care specialists, find someone to go to, whether it's twice a year, quarterly, depending on what your hair needs, depending on your personal seasons,
Okay.
depending on what you're going through, if you're on heavy medication or your hormones are getting a little off whack, if you're in a stressful environment and you're seeing changes in the thickness of your hair, find a professional that their specialty is hair care so that you can have another set of eyes to look at what's going on to your hair. A lot of times we either keep it in our own hands
Mhm.
or we just stay in the hands of stylists. I know, nothing. I'm in the beauty industry. I'm a
Right.
licensed master cosmetologist.
Yes.
So it's nothing against my industry. However, there is just that reality that sometimes you have to find someone that understands, okay, the changes in the seasons of your hair. That's one thing I would say. Another thing I would say is not to do a lot of these processes at home, like coloring your hair.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when you're adding chemicals, even heat to some degree, because a lot of people, they're directing that blow dryer right on their scalp, not understanding that you're creating scar tissue to your scalp because the heat can damage your scalp. You
Talk
understand?
about that. I don't hear many people talking about that. We talk about heat damage to the hair shaft itself, but not really about heat damage to the scalp. And we wonder, often why maybe we're having itch difficulties growing hair, and nobody really talks about that. So talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, so heat is heat. So heat is heat, whether it's chemical or thermal. So we understand that putting a chemical relaxer on your scalp
Mhm.
can burn it because
Correct.
that's chemical heat. But when you're dealing with thermal heat, it's kind of the same difference. A
Mhm.
lot of us grew up sitting under dryers that basically are scorching our scalp, the
Mhm.
hooded dryers. I know when we've done the roller sets and we're about ready to pass out because it's so hot, or we're trying to stretch the hair, blow dry that hair. And if you feel anything that's uncomfortable, whether it's tension, heat,
Mhm.
anything that's uncomfortable, your body is telling you that whatever you're doing is too much.
Yes. Yeah. Pain is a
So
that's
it's
always my
an
saying. Pain is
indicator.
a gift, right?
Yeah.
Pain is
So if you're feeling that the heat is too much, if it's feeling hot to you, it's too much and it can damage the surface of your skin.
excellent. Excellent. That's important. I think no one talks about the scalp damage due to, blow drying too much, especially now. A lot of times, you're either one way or the other. You want it bone straight,
Mhm.
or you want it curly, and tension can play a part in both of those with
Yeah.
braids, or somebody's got, even like you said, the protective styles that we're doing now, the crochets. Sometimes I look and see
Yeah.
the tension that I see on the actual braid itself is so tight that
Yeah.
they don't understand how that could be affecting the actual cuticle, that's coming out of.
Where it's coming out of. Yeah. Yeah. I
So,
mean, we understand the cuticle gets fractured a lot of times,
yeah.
but the follicle can get damaged as well.
And if the follicle get damaged, which is what's underneath the skin, I mean, correct? So
Yeah.
if that gets damaged, is that repairable? Does that come back? Is there anything that we can eat to make that come back? Is there anything we can put on our scalp to make that come back?
So it depends on how extensive the damage is.
Okay.
Okay, so a lot of times, so we do have the peptide growth serum.
Yes. I know mine's around here somewhere.
Okay. Boom, boom, boom. And so what's in it has red clover, tea tree, things that stimulate the hair growth, but it also has acetopeptide. The function of that is to begin to it draws blood flow to that follicle. And what does blood flow through? It pulls in oxygen, and the blood flow swells the follicle, that hair bulb, as well as bringing the oxygen that provides nutrients and life to the hair bulb. So that's one thing. A growth serum that provides that healing to the hair bulb. But the other thing is when you see that the damage on the scalp where the skin is shiny and smooth,
Mhm.
that's normally to the point where you would have to seek medical help to regenerate.
And so
That
that's alopecia, what you're talking about there, correct?
alopecia, sometimes it's genetics,
Mhm.
sometimes it's just scar tissue, so.
And I think that that's an important part to say as well. Genetics. Genetics definitely has a part to play in, and then I think we should celebrate our genetics and not run from them. I think that's another thing, that we try to do things that we weren't meant to do. Everybody can't do everything, and so maybe some of the styles that we're choosing. Me personally, total transparency. I In my family, we have weak edges, if you will. So it's nothing I did. I don't wear braids too tight or anything like that. It's just my edges around my hair are much thinner than the rest of my hair. Everything's thick.
You're not alone. That's very common.
But what people don't do is that they don't know that, and they don't respect that. So they keep on putting braids in and pulling them from the edge. What I have learned to do is I find styles that start from the root and come around and are much gentler on my edges. And so I think that we need to be respectful of our bodies and know that some things come from this, just who we are and what we come from. Now, some things we have control over. We could eat better. We could drink more water. We could sleep with a nightcap on, something satin, so that we keep the moisture in. We could do something about it, but we have to respect, like you're saying, what we are naturally born with. And that's what I think Curl Definition does as well. It celebrates what we are naturally born with. And I celebrate you as a beautiful entrepreneur who has developed an amazing product, a natural product that really, really does what it says it's going to do. I have one last question for you about hair types, because I know that's something that people ask about a lot. And I get in my practice, oh, I have bad hair, or I have people who, were told they had bad hair. What define hair types, how you define them, and how should we define hair types when we're trying to determine what we're looking for or what we can do?
Okay, so when hair typing began, when Oprah Winfrey's stylist back in the day, what is his name?
Andre?
I forgot his name.
Was it Andre?
Yes.
Everybody knew Andre.
Yeah. So he created a chart that was kind of a overview of different hair types. From the tightest was 4. The tighter curly was 3, the looser curly or wavy was 2, straight was 1. And so when you hear my 3C, 4A, B, all of that, they're trying to draw from that chart he created. And I appreciate that because it gives a point of reference when trying to describe to people their texture. But to me, it's too general and generic to really be as effective once you understand whether your hair is tight or loose. So the way I explain it is based on the shape, right? So some people have a coil. That's why when you listen to me explain online, our products work for kinky. That's that hair that has a little kink. You remember the phone wires back in the day? And then you stretch it too much, and so it no longer has the consistent curl, but it has a bit of a kink.
Yes.
And there's coily, that's the tight curl. There's tightly curly, loosely curly, wavy and straight. That's how I describe it. And so you also want to realize that not all hair that has texture has a curl pattern. Because a lot of times what you do, you may manipulate your hair in ways, or you may experience heat damage, or you may have altered your hair, or just genetically your hair has movement, but it doesn't have a pattern.
Interesting.
Right? And so sometimes you might have to train your pattern, where if there's some parts of your hair that has a pattern, other parts that doesn't, you might have to learn to work those strands that don't have a pattern with the ones that do. And so it's just a matter of learning what parts of your hair has what shape going down the hair shaft.
Yeah.
So-
Interesting. I love the way you look at things and the way you describe hairs, because I think it makes us feel a little less intimidated. That 4C, 3B, all of that, it almost becomes a shaming factor.
Rating. Yep.
It feels like a shaming factor. Oh, you're a 4C. So curl definition, who is it made for?
It is made for people who have kinky, coily, tightly curly hair.
Gotcha.
I even did a post yesterday. I think we posted, describe your hair in 3 words without saying 4C.
Wow.
Because it's a way of that a lot of people show their dissatisfaction with their hair.
Yeah.
I got that kinky 4C hair. And it's like, just because hair is dry and unmanageable doesn't mean it's 4C. 4C is a curl pattern. Let's get to the root of what's going on so we can meet that need.
I like that root word. I like it. I
bet you do.
I love it. I love it. I absolutely love you. You are amazing. Tell the people how they can get in touch with you. How can they find you?
I'm on everything Curl Definition.
Okay.
So Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everything Curl Definition. www.com is our e-commerce site. So that's where you can find our products. If you ever want to see demonstrations, you can go right to Facebook or Instagram. We show lots of videos just demonstrating the application of the products. We have systems.
Yes.
So we have it's a primer and a gel that sets, and then our step 3 is a mist. So we have a primer for kinky, coily, tightly curly hair. Then we have a whole system for curly and loosely curly. So I'm not one that says we have one magic in a bottle that works for all hair types. Yeah. Maybe if you're talking about conditioning, moisturizing, but as far as defining curls properly, we have 2 systems. And then you can find all of that information right on our website or our social media. I put in the chat our Instagram, our website, but I also put in there, I might be jumping the gun. Am I jumping the gun?
You go, because that's what it was. You were reading my mind. Go for it. Tell the people what you brought them. Tell the people what you brought them.
Put in a promo code for your summit. So from February 4th to, February 24th to the 26th, we're going to give your guests 25% off. And the promo code is 40 Food for Life.
Food,
so capital F
Life.
Capital FOOD, the number 4, capital LIFE.
Wow. Let me tell you all, this is a gift. Take advantage of this gift that she has given us tonight. You will not regret it. She has an amazing product for so many of us who have been looking for that wonderful hair product that doesn't leave your hair oily, doesn't leave your hair sticky, doesn't build up. You only have to use a little bit of it. It's very, very easy to use. Like she says, she has so many videos. Oh yeah, so many videos on her social media. that will help you learn how to use it. And then, you know, I saw something the other day, which I loved on your website, where you were actually encouraging people to share what they do, what, you know, what have they tried? And so it's a wonderful thing. It goes for all different, whether you have long hair, that's the other thing I love about it. You can have long hair, medium,
Yeah.
short hair. It goes for everyone. And so I just want to thank you so much, Saria. You are second to none. I really appreciate it. And your company is, I just wish it many, many, many more decades of success and growth for you, because it's a bad boy.
We are family owned. We still handcraft our products.
Do you really? Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Work. I know. Well, it shows in the care and the quality. So keep up the great work. Keep up the great work. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the bonus for my people and your people. We appreciate you. We appreciate you all. She put all that information in the chat. Please don't do not hesitate to take her up on that offer. You better get it. You better catch it while you can. You better catch it while you can. All right. Thank you, Sharia. Have a good night. All right. Enjoy the rest of the conference. All right. Wonderful, wonderful. Once again, you guys, I've told you, we've got star-studded, amazing professionals who are here to tell you all about how food can be your medicine, how food can give you a healthier life. And you're hearing it here. You're hearing it here. Deep Rooted Health. I am Dr. Monica. For those of you who are just tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're having an amazing time here at our summit, Food for Life. And know that there are things in the chat. Please go back through the chat and see all the offers that have been made tonight so that you all can take advantage of them. We have a few more guests with us. You guys are doing amazing. You're asking great questions. Please do not hesitate to drop them in the chat. I'm trying to go through and see if I've missed anyone, any questions. I see Saria has put in the chat her special offer for you all. All right. I think we've covered everything. Does anybody have a question that they want me to unmute them and they can ask, or even have a question for me? Let me know while we have a little break in between before our next guest is coming on. Our next guest is coming on, and I'll tell you, they are an amazing superpower. Let me know. All right. I do see a raised hand. Let's see if we can you mute yourself, Tanya? I will. All right. There we go.
Okay, thanks. Hi, Monica. I have a question.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I have another Zoom at 8:30. Where can I listen to the entire summit? This is so awesome. I'm so mad I got to get off. I'm so mad. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, I'm glad you asked. I am recording this summit. I haven't decided how I will be able to offer that to you all, but I will record it in somehow, some way, especially because we had so many technical difficulties in the beginning. And I know that we also had some slowness as far as our link getting out. So I absolutely will make this available. Thank you so much for coming. I'm glad that you're enjoying it.
Anyway, I look forward to listening to the rest of the summit. I need another job because I got too much money to spend. And anyway, everyone enjoy the summit. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, love. Thanks so much.
All right. Sure. Right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. All right. Anybody else have any questions? All right. Well, I'm going to get ready to bring our next guest in. I am not finding you. Raise your hand where you are. I know you're here. All right. Well, how about we take a small break? Don't anybody go anywhere. Take about a 2-minute bathroom break. And while I pull our next guests onto the stage, okay? All right. All right, all right, all right. Is everybody back? We have changed locations. Can you all see and hear everyone? Kim, can you unmute?
Yep.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello. I may have a little echo behind me, but hopefully you all can still hear me okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, it's a background. Okay. Let me 1 second.
No problem. Ladies and gentlemen, while they're getting that together, I want to introduce to you all some amazing, amazing, a super couple, if you will. Let me make sure everybody's muted besides. So while they're preparing, I want to tell you a little bit about my my next guest. Who we have here are LJ and Kim Williams. These are a husband and wife duo that are a superpower in their own right. I'll let them tell their story. They can probably tell it better than I can. But the story of LJ and Kim is that Kim had just had a baby, I believe, and was diagnosed with diabetes. And she had generally been a healthy person. And the loving husband that she had, who was a problem solver, decided that this was just not going to happen. This was not going to be acceptable, and that he was going to find a way to fix it. And he went about studying and finding natural ways and studying different herbs and roots and things that he could use to help his wife. And he developed a paste now known as Jinka. They have developed this turmeric paste, which is the base for Jinka, and it's what they use to really heal her. And when I say heal her, I mean they were able to reverse the diabetic symptoms that she was having. They both, I believe, went on using the Jinka and were able to lose weight and gain vitality, and found so many other medicinal purposes for the Jinka paste. Now, how I found my new friends who are located in Houston, Texas, is I was on a Clubhouse, and I was, as I do, listening and learning. And we were on a show and we were talking about diabetes. And I wanted to find out, it was supposedly talking about, new, ways of treating diabetes and what diabetes really was. And my friend Kim came on and began to talk about this product that her husband had developed that not only was something that they used at home, but was a product that is now carried in HEB supermarkets in Houston, Texas. Now, for those of you who know me, I used to live in Houston, Texas for a long time. HEB was one of the major supermarket. I mean, it's probably my favorite supermarket of all supermarkets. It is like the grand supermarket. And when I heard what she was saying about the product, but then when I heard that she and her husband had gotten this product on the shelves of HEB, I was flabbergasted. Now, Kim and I laughed because they tried to dismiss her, but what she was saying was powerful, and I needed to hear more, and I wanted to try it. So, as I do with all things, when it comes to herbs, medicine, and my patients, is that if it doesn't work for me, or if I can't use it, or for me or my family, then I'm not going to propose that my family or my patients use it either. And so I ordered it. And it came in the mail. I live in Atlanta, Georgia now, and she's in Houston, Texas, she and her husband. And it came in the mail, and I started looking up how do we use this thing? What do we do with this thing? And when I tell you, me and my husband, my family, we love Jinka. I love Jinka. I love Jinka. And we have friends in common in the healthcare field. This is not only used by me, but I now also use it with my patients. I'm going to let them tell you a lot about what the medicinal purposes for this are. Excuse me, y'all, my dogs, you may hear them. I'm going to let them tell you about how they use it. And then we've got a treat because they're going to show us how to use Jinka. LJ and Kim, come on through. Come on in. Come tell the people. Come meet the people. Do I have to give you permission again to mute? I think you should be able to, but I'll do it one more time.
There we go.
There they are.
Hey.
Introduce you to my friends.
What's going on, Dr. Montgomery?
Hello, friends.
So I tell you, LJ mentioned Dr. Montgomery. Dr. Montgomery is our special guest who's coming behind me. But that's one of the people that that we have in common. And I'll tell you more about my superpower friend, Dr. Montgomery. But I want to just say you are in good company, because anyone who is partners with one of my mentors is all right with me. And the irony of the fact that we didn't even know that we were both using it for our patients is amazing, So go ahead, tell us a little bit about tell us the story and how you developed this and why it was so important.
Okay, well, let me just say thank you. LJ's kind of gonna dive into the product, but I just want to say thank you on this, on Dr. Monica's audience, in front of her audience, to just say thank you for your support. You're exactly right. In that room where I was talking and sharing, I was dismissed, and it was definitely obvious. It was a room full of physicians, and no one really was interested. But you direct messaged me, and I think I lost it. I was like, ah! So, you know, that meant so much, because it was tough. You know, I'm, you know, almost 48, and I hadn't gotten dismissed very often. Yeah. And so that was a moment that's very real for me. It stands out. So I appreciated that moment then, and to bring it full circle, you connecting with us, loving the product, sharing it with your people, and then inviting us here to your audience. We are grateful. And so I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Sure.
As I said before, everybody who comes to you all tonight, I didn't look them up in a book. These are the products that I use, that my family uses. I can speak firsthand knowledge of what these products do. So I'm gonna let them tell you what they do.
So this is my great husband. This is LJ, and he did create the product for me when I was diagnosed pre-diabetic. And LJ, you may want to tell them about the product. And
well, the mindset of the product was, I guess, to pay more attention to the mucus, dealing with the studies from Dr. Sabi, being the root of all illnesses. And there's so many times that we go to Ayurvedic doctors or different physicians, and they put us on a diet for drink a tea at this time of day, or drink something at this time of day. There were just so many complications with that, not being able to stay regimented with roots. So what we did was take a comprehensive look at it as it just being basically food, and not putting any supplements in it or any buffers in it or anything to stretch it out, and just paid attention to the roots itself, and found a product that's really attacking every organ, what we see. Because the turmeric, they say, but what fascinated me to use the turmeric was that a story that Kim told me with one of her clients was a nurse, and one of the patients was suffering from
it was
diabetes, and he couldn't receive chemo.
Yeah, he couldn't receive chemo because he had an open wound. And she was telling us how she recognized the paste, and she said she had used it before because a patient's mom had talked to her over the phone from India, showed her how to make the paste, to create this paste to put on his open wound on his leg, and stuffed his wound with it. And the next day he was able to do his chemo. And so that was the story he heard, and it just intrigued him.
Yeah, and it drove me. I guess it caused me to find out what in the world. So it's witness because the hotline is light. What in the world is this turmeric? And going further into it, I guess I discovered a Dr. Agarwal. He's a cancer research physician at MD Anderson. I guess this was in the mid 80s, early 90s. But he had some writings and some literature that he cured cancer using turmeric. But the base product was the curcuminoids. And the curcuminoids, what's so fascinating about it is that it is the only thing that's in nature that's natural that can actually penetrate the cell membrane for cell modulation, which is really cell food. And it's hard to duplicate that with any type of product. We notice in this product that it's given adequate and sufficient nutrients to the cell membranes, to the nervous systems, brain fatigue. We have testimonies in it clearing up, I guess, stiffness. But like I said, the testimonies with this product that we observed was been dealing with diabetes, high blood pressure, eczema, psoriasis, gout, lupus, leukemia. I mean, thousands of testimonies on these different things. And we're focused into producing it more because of the testimonies that we were receiving early on.
Yeah, that's how it really started. LJ, you can tell him neither one of our background is medicine, and so this was all pretty new to us. But what we had is I do eyebrows for a living. I've done them for 16 years, and I have a consistent clientele. So we were able to share the product with them, and as we shared it with them, they enjoyed it. It was around Christmas time, and we gave our family some for Christmas. And around January, they were like, "Are we going to get more of that, or is that done?" Right. And so it was helping. It was helping more people.
Christmas list. I want to be on your Christmas list too.
Right, we will. But so they looked up and they wanted it. So the product really was made out of necessity.
And it was I remember a testimony. One of the first testimonies early on. With one of your mom's friends, church members, who was going to have, I guess, some type of surgery on her back to release pressure because she was short and kind of heavy set. And went to the doctor. The doctor wanted to do one more x-ray before he went in, for surgery. And he came back and asked her, did she believe in miracles? And the lady was like, what do you mean? She said, well, your back is 95% correct.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Then the testimonies just started coming in, just some weird things. Like we had one lady who had autoimmune arthritis in her knuckles where her fingers were bent.
Yes.
Realized sitting at her desk one day, rubbing her hands and her fingers to straighten back up.
Well, I'll tell you, you have absolutely tapped into one of the amazing superfoods, turmeric. It has become very popular, but what people don't realize is that it's been around for God knows how long. It's a seasoning in other countries, as we talked about, right? It's a seasoning that's used frequently. But what people don't realize is that curcumin, which is the active ingredient in turmeric, is the real monster.
Right.
Also, one of the things that I love about your product is it addresses, black pepper. A lot of people don't understand that curcumin is not as active if it's not combined with black pepper. So you've thought of it all. And it tastes good. So I have been known to take a spoonful straight. So
that's one of my goals right there.
I'm a real jinka.
Yeah, it's not. We definitely have some real jinka people that'll take it right off the spoon.
A lot of the NFL alumni, football players, the ex-football players, this is how they take it off the spoon and shoot it back with some water so they can get a good gulp in it,
Absolutely. I will tell you, it is good alone or good in your smoothies, good in drinks that you make. And that's why I'm excited that you got a little demonstration for us today.
Yes, we have some. So I'll just show y'all what we've been talking about. This is the jar. It comes in two sizes. This is the 8 ounce. It comes in 8 and 16. But I'm just gonna kind of show you if I can get to the screen so you can kind of see the goodness. So it's just a mix of herbs.
It smells like the holidays. It smells like the holidays because of cinnamon. And that's another thing. The ingredients that we use are kind of different. Most people are familiar with turmeric and they associated with India. Well, our turmeric actually comes from Asia. The ginger that we use is Peruvian medicinal grade ginger. It's like $40 a pound. We use a Grenada nutmeg. That's like $40 a pound. And the cinnamon that we use is Ceylon cinnamon versus the Chinese cinnamon that we get out of the stores. We have a medicinal grade cinnamon. And what it does, from what we understand, that it's a miracle for leveling blood pressure. Along with managing pain and a lot of other things. Cinnamon is a really, really nice spice. But you want to show them?
Cinnamon is amazing for your blood sugar. As you said, cinnamon, people just think of it for the holidays, but cinnamon is an amazing blood sugar regulator as well. So you've got, like I said, a powerhouse of ingredients in combination. It's incredible.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what's the first steps?
So what we're gonna do, this is one of my favorites. This is a really simple, you may have heard of a golden milk latte.
Yeah.
And this is what I love. So there's all kinds of milk you can use. This is just a vanilla almond milk, but some people use a banana, a coconut, a hemp, oat milk, you know, whatever your thing is. But we
like the silk vanilla almond milk because it's a little coarse, and it's another one that we use.
And we try them.
Blue Diamond or something like that.
Until it says Jinka on it.
Yeah.
We not co-signing.
Coming
soon. It will one day. It will.
So we just normally do about depending on your morning, what you want to do, 6 to 12 ounces your evening. This is normally a morning for me. It's my coffee. Some people put Jinka in their coffee.
Along with their oatmeal, they do their oatmeal, pancakes, waffles. We didn't have a Jinka and everything.
And so we just poured it in this kettle that we're gonna sit on the stove on the stove.
Okay.
A lot of people try to skip and pour the milk in here, put it in the microwave, and try to whip it up. It's not as good as it is on the stove. So if you have time, take it and enjoy it. But take the paste, and I'm just gonna do about 1 tablespoon.
I'll do it along with you.
And LJ's gonna go sit it on the stove.
So can you do it?
We like to whisk it.
Oh, okay. Do you can you do it with other forms of milk, like an oat milk or something?
Banana milk, oat milk, apple juice. We didn't have it in VA Splash. We use it as a regular tea. Hennessy.
Bailey's, eggnog.
I saw that eggnog one. I know that you have been on many different networks and have shown your product a lot of different places. And one of the places I saw, you did an eggnog with a twist. So
yes.
Whoever's coming to my house for the holidays, get ready because you'll be having.
Listen, they will love you. And even if before they come to your house, take it to their house.
Yes,
it is a huge hit. We do it hot and we do it chilled.
My Jinka, though, I'll be honest with you. I don't like to share my Jinka. I'm a little protective, but
we know.
That's so funny. We tell people because we started doing this before HEB. LJ, we did vending pop-up events, right. And so we were known for sharing it, getting people to hear how they use it, and
because it's like. in this area, I guess that we in that we won't or can't be recognized as part of the, I guess, the healing organization of what you call it, profession.
Ask them to get your language together. They're the professionals.
You are fine.
And it's different knowing what this product does and talking to physicians and getting feedback from them. You know, when I show them pictures of how it works on people with burns and different bruises, the recovery time that they have with it, they all say fascinating. And we get different reports from different, people that take the product. That they doctors saying, okay, whatever you're taking, don't stop taking it, that you don't have to take pills no more, and all this readback and all this feedback, but we haven't had any communications or talks with any doctors other than Dr. Baxter Montgomery.
Well, our point with that is, since you have gladly accepted us into your tribe, as you hear us and as we're growing in this space, feel free to educate us. We are, it's hard for us not to use certain words that people tell you not to use when we know that this is reversing disease and doing those kind of things. So we're always a little bit hesitant in certain conversations. So
like when we get testimonies, we had a couple of them out of New Orleans that had a reversal of blindness due to diabetes. Like I said, the testimonies that we have on it is unbelievable. And we still kind of puzzled on why, I guess the medical profession is really not, I guess, taking herbal medicines more serious.
LJ, you make a good point. It's as people know, I'm a board certified family medicine physician by training. And functional medicine is what I specialize in now. And that is so that people will understand what really comes down to, look how beautiful that is, how delicious, how amazingly delicious.
It smells so good.
Right, it is, y'all.
Your
It's
whole
so good.
entire house, your whole house. I would say that the medical community is resistant. The general medical community is resistant to herbal medicine, but there's going to have to be a turnaround because what we all know is that medications are derived from nature. You know, we take these things and scientists figure out what the chemical makeup of what nature has already done, and then we expound on that. So medicines have been taken from so many cultures to heal. And so the thing that we're getting back to is what was always there. I hate the term alternative medicine because it makes it seem as though the things that are from the ground are like just came around, like they're the alternate. And the truth is they are the core. And that the other really is was the alternate until it became mainstream. So I understand, and you shouldn't feel bad about using nomenclature that you use because you work from a testimonial standpoint. And I think it's honest. I think it gives great information and it's truth. And you let your patients, well, I say that your patients, but you let the people speak for themselves. Let them speak for themselves. And professionals like myself will continue supporting what works and what we know as well. There are plenty of turmeric tablets and things on the market. So people know it works, but to have a product that is this well made, that you have to refrigerate, that is pure, that, like I said before, when we were talking before, that you have to, that doesn't have preservatives in it and has been high quality, made from high quality ingredients, is awesome. It's amazing. And nobody can really, here's the camera, nobody can really tell you about it. You got to really try it for yourself. This at night before you go to sleep is one of my favorite treats. It was one of my favorite treats. I don't normally have issues going to sleep, but when I just want something to coat my stomach and not ice cream.
How do you take it at night?
Say it again.
How do you take it at night?
I usually, if I'm going to do it at night, let me tell you my regimen and what I do with Ginkgo. So at nighttime, I don't do it every night because like I said, I sleep pretty well. It's more of a treat for me at night. What I use Ginkgo for is during the day. I get my tea in the morning and I use about a teaspoon to a tablespoon of Ginkgo in my tea every morning. So I drink an herbal tea, usually a green tea. Either I'll do it plain because Ginkgo has a bit of sweet. I don't need a lot of sweet. It has a bit of sweet in it. And so I'll just mix it into my tea. You can put it with honey. You can put it with a monk fruit. I know my husband puts it in his coffee. I put it in my smoothies in the morning. So I use it in the morning as kind of a get up and go and keep it moving type of thing. And like I said, every now and then I'll take a spoonful of it if I want to during the day as well. How would you recommend somebody take it as far as the amount you would want them to take during the day?
You really can't overdose on it, but our recommendation is half a tablespoon per 12 to 16 ounces. Okay. And you can do that twice daily. You see Dr. pulled up. What's up, Doc?
You see Dr. Montgomery's coming in the building.
You see my smile. What's up, Doc?
Yeah. So once again, this is something that can be taken in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. I really want people to understand the power of turmeric and cinnamon in combination with the black pepper. It is amazing for those who have arthritis. It is amazing for those. Inflammation is the killer of the body. Inflammation is the killer of the body. So inflammation, not only just in our joints, which is what we think about, but inflammation all over the body is what causes heart disease and causes damage and trauma. So it is really important when you can do something that you use every day that is delicious. You can't beat it. You cannot beat it. So even in apple juice, you can put it in cold, you can put it in, hot. whatever works, whatever works, whatever
I tell
works.
you what, I tell you what we really like she showed you the vanilla almond milk,
Yes.
but the organic Martinelli's.
Ah, good.
Oh, hot or cold, like drinking apple pie.
I can only imagine. I mean, and it smells up the whole kitchen when you heat it up. This whole kitchen. So tell me now, you all are not doctors. We get it. And everybody who's, been watching tonight, we've got, the spectrum of different levels in nutrition studying wise, but everybody can be a specialist in what they do. Tell me from what you all have researched and what you all know now from being in HEBs and talking to your customers, what's one of those things that you see people doing the most that you would say, hey, listen, probably should stop doing that and do something different? Do you know of anything that you could give a recommendation on?
It's a few things when you're looking at Kim said water and not exercise.
There you go.
Basic things like water and not exercising, not moving.
That's it. That's great. That's huge. People take that for, being a small thing, but that's not a small thing. Moving your body. Kim, you have come back from diabetes. You've probably had to learn a few different lifestyle modifications, as I call them. LJ, you have supported her in that. Those things right there, moving your body, adding more water, those things help with decreasing inflammation as well. So you're right on point. You're right on point. I would 100% agree. I would 100% agree. Now tell the people how they can get in touch with you.
So we are all over the web, but you can purchase Jinka if you're in the Houston area. You can get it at HEB, various HEBs throughout the city. The list is on our website. That's one way. But if not, you can get it on our website. We ship almost everywhere. It's a fairly quick process, easy process. And tonight we have for your
product code.
All right. See, I told you, my friends, we're really generous. What you gonna do for people?
Yeah, so we created a coupon code for 20% off tonight.
Okay.
And the discount code is Jinka Food for Life.
And it's a number 4 life.
All right. So that's Jinka Food for Life. I'm gonna try to drop it in the chat. And is it all any spaces in that or all together?
It's all together.
All together, all caps.
All right, all caps. I'm dropping it in for you guys.
Thank you. We're just thankful to share this with your community. Thank you for trusting us to share with your community. And one thing we were laughing about is because recently we've had a video, Dr. Monica, go viral on TikTok.
Okay.
And in the last 2 days. And so
that was this morning.
That's been 48 hours.
Time flies. Having fun.
Okay, so anyway, the last 2 days, back to back. And what we noticed is LJ's been getting phone calls back to back. And there is so much despair in the phone calls.
Ooh.
And I know y'all.
The frustration.
Yes.
The frustration. It's the frustration. Nothing is working for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people are really looking for things. And so we were really encouraged with the movement from a lot of random great new Jinka people that are excited to get their product. But what my point is that I hadn't gotten that many calls. And so it was so many calls, we've been building them together today. And just a few that I was able to go through, it was just a lot of despair, a lot of hopelessness, like, what are we doing here? Where am I going? And I hadn't really I hadn't had those many phone calls back to back, feeling that energy. And so what I know is when we share this, we like to let people know it's not going to hurt to try. It's food. Right. And everyone, most people that touch it, we're seeing amazing results. And so.
And was another thing, and I credit Dr. Montgomery for this. The first time we met, he mentioned pharmaceuticals or medical foods, and that was the category that Jinka fell in. And
Yeah.
I've stayed fast with that, even from the labeling. We don't have a supplement label. We have a nutritional label.
Correct.
You can purchase it with food stamps. And we stay true to it all the way out because we know where we want it to affect the most people.
Well, you know, the fact that people are in despair does not surprise me. Obviously, you know, I see that on a daily basis. That's kind of what my life is dedicated to, because people unfortunately don't come to see me when they're having a good day. But the good thing is that people, we're getting an opportunity to tell people about how to turn their life around with lifestyle changes. You know, that's in the medical community. In the medical community, we throw that word around a lot. But the truth of the matter is that everything starts with how we're living, what we're putting in our bodies, what we're putting on our bodies, what we're putting in our minds. And we are getting an opportunity to reestablish what those things should be. So yes, there's a lot of despair out there. And I'm so happy that you are part of the solution and not part of the problem. The part of the solution that we need is to really start feeding ourselves better. You have despair when your mindset is wrong, when your body is off kilter, when you're out of balance. And what we're doing every day as a people is reason why that is the case. So know that you're doing really good work out there by, you think, doing a simple thing, but this right here is more than a lot of people could imagine. And so you are giving them help and hope by giving them some ingredients from the garden that can really change their lives. You know, it's our job to continue to teach them the other things, because you can't do one thing right and a whole bunch of other stuff wrong. It's a lifestyle. And so thank you for coming in tonight and sharing a part of your lifestyle with your community. And I know that you're going to have some more Jinka babies coming, because we've opened up that door to even more people. We have a lot of people who are in here from Houston, so you'll have some new HEB customers, but you also have people from around the corner, around the world, and around the block that will be absolutely also be mail ordering. That's how I get mine, and I'm not going to stop.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so
And
much.
one more suggestion, Doc.
Absolutely.
Do you eat cornbread?
I don't eat cornbread, but my husband loves my cornbread.
Vanilla almond milk, Jinka, and cornbread.
You got it. And I'll let y'all know. I'll let you know. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I make it from scratch. Everything.
So we've used Jinka in our turkey, in our dressing for the last probably 5 Thanksgivings. Everyone loves it.
Okay, well now I'll tell you a quick funny story. At Thanksgiving this year, I'm not a big turkey eater, don't really like turkey, but if you're gonna do turkey, then it needs to be smoked or something. And my father-in-law was in town, and he's from Missouri, I guess, Kentucky. And so he's used to spicing it down and doing it old school. So they wanted to, in the brine, they wanted cinnamon and cloves and all that good stuff. And we figured it out. But now that you say that, all I had to do was pull out the Jinka. I probably could have left it on there. And that would have been
sweet potato pies, all of that.
It smells just like sweet potato pie. So I get it. I get it. You guys, thank you so much. LJ, Kim, you guys give it up for LJ and Kim. Support their business, support your health. Get this turmeric paste. It is amazing. Jinka Premium Turmeric Plus paste. It also comes in, and y'all didn't say this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it does. It also comes in capsules.
If people don't like the paste, they can get it in capsules.
Yes, it also comes in capsules. And we have a soap. We have soap that is the soap is amazing. Anyone that's dealing with any skin issues or eczema, it's amazing.
Good. Tell the people. Well, when they go on, I'm about to drop this. I want to make sure I did it right. Jinka Food for Life, 25% off. Is that what we said?
Yes.
All right, I'm dropping it in right now. Everybody take advantage of it. You guys have an amazing rest of your night. Stick on. I know you're going to hang out with Dr. Baxter Montgomery, who's coming up.
We're hanging out.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Much love. Much love. All right. You all have hung in there with me, because I'm not surprised, because we've had some amazing, amazing guests tonight. I am not going to slow up the momentum. I'm not even going to move out of my kitchen, because this is exactly where this next guest speaker would probably have me be. I want to tell you, this this person who's coming up next is so near and dear to my heart. You know, I haven't always been this old. And so when I was a baby doc in Houston, Texas, I was fortunate enough to be under the tutelage of some amazing specialists there. One of which I have continued to follow because I remember him as I was in private practice. I remember him when I worked in the community health centers. He was always available. He was always there to take care of our patients and to educate our patients. But there was something a bit different. The thing that was different is that he was in tune with the fact that people needed to know how to eat better in order to heal. Now, that would seem to be kind of a routine conversation that anybody would have, but the fact of the matter is this was coming from a board certified cardiologist. Now, your cardiologist probably says to you, stop eating so much fat, take your cholesterol medicine, you know, take your blood pressure medicine. But to have a cardiologist who not only tells you the truth, but also walks the walk. I watched Dr. Baxter Montgomery walk the walk and has continued to walk that walk. I guess I'm telling my age, but I've been in medicine about over 25 years, a little over 25 years. And Dr. Baxter Montgomery, I believe he opened his practice, his private practice 25 years ago. I will say I was a baby. He wasn't a baby, but we were definitely babies together in this journey. It is my pleasure and honor for me to introduce to you all one of my mentors and one of the best cardiologists I've ever known, and probably one of the best physicians you will ever meet. This is Dr. Baxter Montgomery. I'm going to unpin him, and you guys, please give him a warm, warm welcome.
Thank you very much, Dr. Monica. I appreciate that kind introduction. And yeah, we were both babies 25 years ago, so we're just now in our young adulthood lives. How about that?
That's exactly right. I ask people all the time, I say, how young are you? I never ask somebody how old they are. How young are you?
That's a great way to ask, because, age is a number, and I like the points you were making. And by the way, I want to give a shout out to LJ and Kim. I mean, they've done an amazing job with Jinka. I remember LJ was coming to my office years ago and said, hey, I want a partner. I tasted the product and said, this is great stuff. You don't need me. All you have is to go out and develop this and push this product. And they have an amazing amount of passion, as you can tell in their presentation. And so a shout out to Jinka. I put in the chat, I highly recommend it, and more power to them. They're doing a great job for the community with an excellent product. And our patients have gotten a lot of good results from it over the years. So I want to give a quick shout out to them. But anyway.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Dr. Montgomery, you're based in Houston, Texas, but I'm sure at this point they know you all over the world because the work that you do is amazing. It's amazing. Tell me a little bit about your practice there in Houston and what it is that you do.
So we practice, first and foremost, as you said, I'm a cardiologist, and my practice, back in 1997 started out. My background is in internal medicine, general cardiology and clinical cardiac electrophysiology, and I dealt with people with rhythm disorders. And so, I was trained at the subspecialty level, and coming out of training, I applied those skills and training capabilities. But I always did have an interest in wellness. I didn't know what that meant at the very beginning. We were trained in, cardiac rehab with people after heart attacks go on, walk on treadmills and get a healthy diet. And so I had an interest in trying to help people recover from heart disease, but I never really, at least early on, did not really crystallize those thoughts. So my practice started off with just the regular cardiology. I had patients who were very sick, people who would have sudden cardiac arrest, people, have cardiac arrest in our office, we resuscitate them, cardiac arrest in the hospital. I implanted defibrillators, did electrical ablations, coronary angiograms, triple angiograms. And so managed patients at every level of the spectrum in the world's largest medical center for, about 2.5 decades. It was exciting. However, over time in private practices, you know, Dr. Monica, you get to know your patients more longitudinally than you do, say, in training, where you kind of in and out of a rotation.
Right.
One thing I realized is that despite the advancement in our technology, you know, more advanced devices, you know, more sophisticated medications per se, the patients continue to get sicker and sicker. You know, in a busy practice, working 16-hour days on weekdays, 12-hour days on weekends, and just, you know, grinding at both ends, burning the count at both ends and middle out, you know, I started to realize that despite all those efforts, you know, I wasn't making headway. A few personal life events, family life events, started to open the window, and by happenstance, you know, I started looking into alternative ways of treating patients. First, I started looking at herbs and natural supplements, as we will. Some patients would come in on supplements, and I met an herbalist through one of my patients, and you know, it started to open my eyes outside the area of the typical allopathic prescription medication. One weekend, I took a plant-based, raw vegan chef course. And this was about a year after my mom had died. I had taken care of her and started to realize her death was in large part due to a lot of the medication she had taken, you know, diabetes and the like. And so at that time, I was on this upward thrust of really learning about natural foods and natural supplements and the like. So when I took this course, I learned about raw plant-based foods. And I did, you know, I learned about this person who did juice feasting. I did a raw juice feast. So to make a long story short, I had a personal encounter with this aggressive lifestyle that I later found out to be one of the more important medical interventions that one can have. Now, there are a lot of different things you can do to naturally heal someone, but I thought food was the foundation, as you pointed out earlier. But this was amazing because, you know, when I did the 33-day juice feast, I felt like I was 18 for the first time in a long time. I mean, it's just, it wasn't, you know, a lot of people do things, they lose weight and they may get off medication. I had a charge in my system that I not remember feeling ever, to be honest. And so I was amazed with this. And I said, well, you know, plant-based nutrition is probably an important intervention. I started applying this similar approach to patients, put them on raw plant foods and so on and so forth. And we did other things as well. But I found when I fundamentally changed the way they ate, things started to change. I saw improvements. And these were patients with severe heart disease. These were not people with just mild, you know, a little elevated cholesterol, want to drop, you know, 10, 20 pounds or whatever. These were people who had quadruple bypass, 3 stents after bypass, defibrillator and heart beating at 10%, on 23 medications, in wheelchair, on oxygen, one patient on a ventilator. So these were very sick patients. These are the type of patients I saw routinely. Mm-hmm. So when I applied this type of optimal nutrition to their regimen, you know, it didn't take years for them to turn around. We often think, well, if you make lifestyle changes in about 10, 20 years, something good might happen. Right. These people were making changes in a matter of days to weeks. And it didn't happen just every once in a while, every single patient. I mean, I'd never seen anything like that in my career. And so this was, you know, somewhere on the order of about close to 18 years ago when I started applying this individually. And what I realized is that, you know, I said, you know, this is something that's very powerful. And, you know, just sitting and talking to patients about eating raw food, it wasn't an efficient way to practice at that time. Right. One thing I said to myself is that I absolutely have to figure out how to integrate this in my practice. It was just too amazing in terms of the results that I saw. Right. And I, again, practice in the world's largest medical center. We have 3 heart transplant centers in walking distance of each other. We have bypass, you know, probably, you know, 20 different ORs that can do bypass surgery and stent. Anything you want to do to the heart, we can do to the heart. And despite all of that technology, nothing came close to optimal nutrition and helping people turn their lives around. And so from that point to now, it's only been a continuous journey of amazement. I'm not going to kid you, there have been some areas of frustration, logistics and things like that. But when you speak of areas of frustration, I remember what the nutritional staff at Herman Hospital used to drive them crazy, because you were so adamant about the diet of your patients that, you know, you would come in after, you know, patient had been admitted or after one of your procedures and be like, no,
like, no, all of this, no, can't eat it. And my patients who were under your tutelage, they would be like, oh man, that Dr. Montgomery, he's just relentless. But it was so important that you were not only educating patients, but you were also educating staff and the nutritional staff. And so that journey continues, I'm sure. Oh, we moved, unmute, you've got unmute again, hold on. Got it.
Got it. Yeah. So anyway, sorry. So that it's interesting that you remember that from the hospital.
I do.
It's and that was a journey in of itself, and it still to be. It continues to be a battle dealing with the institutions, because you have this the corporate medical care is a monster, and, my goodness, I don't want to get political tonight. You feel free to calm me down, because sometimes I get on that soapbox.
If you start, I will too. So we're gonna try to keep the time, but I call it corporate medicine, just like you do. So go ahead, go for it.
But the long story short is this: it's unfortunate that, and it's not by accident. I'll just be as plain as I can be.
Absolutely.
It's our medical trainees are co-opted. I mean, in fact, I think it's medical training, and I'll just be very blunt, is not education or training, but it's an indoctrination.
Correct.
It's an indoctrination to promote and push pills and procedures for people with ailments that are just due to lifestyle problems. And it's one thing if someone has an acute illness, maybe emergency, you fall out of a tree, burned by fire, allopathic acute care medicine works very well. But even in those settings, optimal nutrition and natural integrative care has an important role that even in those settings is being ignored. I have patients who have acute heart attacks, decompensated heart failure, all of those things. And yes, we have to do, maybe procedures and stabilize them. But even in that setting, optimal nutrition makes a major, major difference, and it's ignored by our, corporate medical institutions. Largely because the physicians are trained and blindfolded toward anything natural. They're only programmed to give pills and procedures, and that's the only solution. If the pill and procedure doesn't work, there's nothing we can do. We'll send you home for hospice or whatever the case is. And that's very, very unfortunate. And so, yes, interesting that you remember that detail about the hospital, because I've had my share of battles. But in all fairness, I will say this. I practice at Memorial Hermann in the medical center. I have gotten a fair amount of cooperation from time to time. So I don't want to be, too cruel in terms of saying it's all been bad, because there've been individuals who have been receptive. They've allowed my patients to get food from our nutrition center. They try to accommodate as best they can with the diet. There was one time the head nutritionist and the head of the kitchen came to our facility to take our food. And we didn't have our nutrition center and kitchen up restaurant going at the time, so they couldn't buy the food from us. But they did make some inroads. I don't want to be totally unfair, but there's a lot of change that needs to happen in terms of an understanding in our medical community in terms of how powerful food is. God put it in Genesis first chapter in terms of what we should eat. It's certainly very important. But at the very least, if the patients or our community can understand, and it starts right there, then individually you can be empowered to make the change you need to make.
Absolutely, absolutely. You definitely changed the mindset of a lot in the community. And you did it also by example as well. And like I said, we've known each other for a long time. I watched your transition even as well. And it was inspiring, to say the least. Tell me, we're talking about nutrition in general, but you specifically have certain foods that I think you would say would be better than others, or specifically beneficial or helpful. What would you say those foods would be?
Well, it's a great question, because we use a food classification system where we in fact rank foods. And so if you use the broad categories, plant foods are superior to non-plant foods. And so then within plant foods, you say, okay, vegetables tend to have advantages that fruits don't have, but fruits have advantages that vegetables don't have. Now, you have to take all of these in the context of how our food gets to us.
Right.
Because our classification system not only takes into account the food, but what happens to the food before you consume it. So if you say, okay, plant foods are very good, then you have to say, okay, great, what has happened to the plant foods? Well, if you were a psychiatrist taking a history of someone with a psychiatric problem, you say, well, tell me about your childhood. And so when you think about the food on your plate, you say, well, tell me about your childhood. How was the food raised? Was the food grown in an organic environment? Was it in a wild, uncultivated at all, which may even be better? So it grew in the wild, it's more fortified. Was it cultivated? Maybe it was not organically cultivated, but it cultivated in a sustainable way where it wasn't chemicalized and had a lot of fertilizer and things like that. So the closer the food is to a natural growth, if it's in the wild, it's best. If it's cultivated organically, it's next to best. If it's sustainably grown, sometimes it's better than organic if it's local and seasonal.
Right.
So when you think about the foods, how is it grown? So plant foods first, naturally cultivated and raised plant foods are going to be the best. Now, once you've harvested the food and it gets to you, what have you done to the foods? Well, do you microwave it? Do you batter it and fry it? Do you saute it in oil? If you do things to the food to break it down and destroy it before it gets to your mouth, then again, that food you've taken it down in its nutritional value. So when you say the best foods, plant foods that are minimally processed, as close to their natural state from harvest to your mouth, are going to be the best foods for you. Now, from a practical standpoint, you have to say, okay, what's my lifestyle? What's my availability to plant foods, et cetera? And so that's when you have to get into tactical approaches to saying, hey, how do I go about, getting the best food on a regular basis?
Right, right. And so when people come into your office, into your facility, I call it a facility because it's more than just an office. You have so much going on good there. What's the first thing that you would say for someone who really had no idea what to do? What's the first thing that you ask them to change or to make a difference to see a difference in their cardiovascular health?
Well, great question, because what we do, first of all, once we've gotten an assessment of where they are, and the assessment of where they are, we do extensive, blood tests, cardiac tests, other tests, based on what their, complaints are or what their clinical problems are. Then we try to see where they are in terms of their lifestyle. If someone's very sedentary and eating the worst food possible, we will probably take that person and put them on an aggressive nutritional regimen first and foremost. Maybe their mobility is not very good. So maybe they're not able to exercise on day 1, 2, or 3. So we'll take that person. It doesn't matter what the age is, et cetera. And so we'll put them on, say, an aggressive nutritional cleanse, and we'll follow them, like within days of them starting that nutritional regimen. Oftentimes, the patients we see are on a lot of medications, so we'll have to adjust those medications. One thing people don't realize is that they may have diabetes or high blood pressure or heart disease or cancer, whatever the case is, but they're also taking multiple medications. And if you look at the top 3 causes of sickness and death in the United States, most years it's heart disease, cancer, and medications are third, or medical treatment, I should say, is third. And a big part of the medical treatment is medication. So many times people are on lots of medications, and oftentimes the treatment can be worse than the disease. And so you can have a situation where if they're on lots of medications, we'll assess that in addition to looking at the health condition, and then we'll try to make adjustments in the medication just as we're making adjustments in the nutritional regimen. If they follow the regimen very closely, then we find that we're able to wean a lot of medications. Now, weaning medication can be tricky, so that's why we see them very frequently for the first 4 to 6 weeks.
Excellent, excellent. So how soon, because that's another thing that people think, well, I did what he said for me to do. How soon would somebody feel a difference or expect a difference in their outcomes, or just, their blood pressure after starting a change regimen or a lifestyle modification like you're talking about?
Excellent question. And I really like that question because although it varies from most people, I mean, it varies for everyone, everybody's different. But what we see on average is we start to see changes on the order of days to weeks. So for example, someone may come in with a lot of diabetes and other high blood pressure, arthritis. Within the first week, and we typically put them on a raw detox, we'll see them back 1 week later. For the most part, within the first week, they'll start to see changes. Now, oftentimes people, they go to detox reaction, they feel very tired the first week or feel weak. So that first week they come back, they'll have some changes. They may not recognize those changes. Oftentimes they may be complaining about how hungry they are. Sometimes they're hungry, but it's not because they're not getting enough to eat. It's just because they're going through a detox reaction. People who smoke marijuana, for instance, they don't get the marijuana for a while, they get the munchies. So hunger is kind of a withdrawal symptom that people don't really think about so much. So they're withdrawing from the toxins in the food, sugar, processed carbohydrates, certain proteins, chemicals from the proteins. These things behave like toxins. And when you remove them, you can have a withdrawal sensation, hunger being one of them. So within about the first week, sometimes blood pressure drop, blood sugars drop, et cetera. And so by the second week, most people have some significant feeling of improvement. Arthritis may be subsiding, blood pressure again continuing to come down. And at the same time, we're weaning medications. We've actually published the work in the medical journal where we looked at the detox regimen, and within 4 weeks, we saw significant reduction in cholesterol, by somewhere in the order of 20–30%. Wow. Inflammation went down by 30%. Blood pressure, systolic and diastolic blood pressure went down. Hemoglobin A1C went down by 3.4% in just 4 weeks. And so we see a lot of other changes improve. And at the same time, we got the improvement of these parameters, weight loss about 6%. We also saw a 40% reduction in medication. So we've actually published that with a food prescription approach that we use. We get significant medication reduction by 40%, while at the same time, these clinical parameters are improving at the same time.
So what I hear you saying also is that, one of the major things that brings patients in, men and women now, is they want to lose weight. I want my blood pressure to be better, but I want to lose weight because I want to look cute. I want to fit into an outfit. But the truth of the matter is, by making these lifestyle changes, significantly, you can lose weight. When I say almost like you say, without trying, without being at the gym necessarily all the time and all of that, because what people don't realize is that our food really is the first place of attack. So do you find that the weight loss is the cause of the improved cardiac output or the cardiac endpoint improving, or is it the combination of the weight loss and the change in the actual foods that they're eating? So if somebody loses weight without being on a plant-based diet, basically, are they going to do as well as if they do it with a more vegetable-based diet, plant-based diet?
I really love that question. Here's the thing. Frequently, and a lot of my colleagues in the same space of plant-based nutrition emphasize weight loss. I tend not to talk about weight loss. In fact, I'll avoid that conversation. Somebody will come in and have a BMI of 55, I'll avoid the conversation weight loss. Not because weight loss is not important. I avoid the conversation weight loss because the program we use is not a weight loss program. I have a significant number of people who come in who are very thin.
Yeah. Who
are very thin with chronic lung disease, very thin with diabetes, thin with heart disease, thin with all sorts of chronic illnesses that someone who's obese has. And so if I preach the message of weight, again, the majority of people have weight issues, but the weight is only one of the problems. It's not the core problem in terms of causing everything else. In other words, as your question implies, the weight loss is not what causes the other changes. It's the optimal health that causes the other changes. And when you get to optimal health, and the body goes to your natural weight normally. So I like to list weight loss. I like high blood pressure, inflammation, heart disease, obesity. They're all listed there. It's not one causing the other. Yeah, that's true that somebody has more adipose tissue. There's some biochemical changes that contribute, that feeds into the metabolic problem, that feeds into things like insulin resistance, et cetera. So I understand that. But the point is simply this, there's an underlying biochemical physiological imbalance that's contributing to all of these things. And you have to get to that underlying biochemical physiological imbalance that's going to correct all of these things. Yes, you can lose weight by doing whatever you want to do, surgeries, etc. And some of these other things will correct. I'm not saying they won't. However, it's not the end all be all, because the underlying problem, the health problem that people have isn't so much the high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart disease. They have an addiction to bad food and an addiction to a bad lifestyle.
Yes.
So that's the underlying disease. So the ultimate cure is to cure them from their addiction to bad food and a bad lifestyle. And that bad lifestyle is not only what they eat, their lack of exercise, and that affects their interaction with the social interaction with family and loved ones. I mean, that spiritual, mental, there are a lot of other things that are contributing to a poor lifestyle. So it's a broad spectrum of things. We focus on nutrition primarily and movement secondarily, because patients that we see are acutely ill. So we have to do something that's going to have a more drastic effect in the short run. But all these other lifestyle things are important. But if you're eating poorly, then you're going to more likely be depressed. You're going to have more likely have mental decline. You're not going to be as involved with loved ones. So it's going to affect all those other areas in your life. You're not going to be able to move. So starting with how you nourish your body or how you poison your body, however you want to look at it, it's going to affect all those other areas of your lifestyle. It's going to be very important. So again, to reiterate and attack that question, optimal nutrition is the key to health, and it's not so much to weight loss. One example, a lady, 46-year-old, came to see me a number of years ago, and she worked at an oil and gas company, had gone to health fair, she was in the obese category and was pre-diabetic and blood pressure was high. So she said, well, if I lose weight, I'll get healthy. So she went to see a gastric bypass surgery to get gastric bypass to lose weight. So they did an EKG. The EKG was abnormal. So they said, look, you need to be cleared by a cardiologist. She came to see us. I talked to her. She was having chest pain and some other issues. I was concerned. I did an echocardiogram, and her heart was beating about 24%. 55% normal. So I did a coronary angiogram, and she had about a 95% widowmaker. In her case, it's been a widower maker.
Right.
In the proximal part of the main artery coming off the left. So it was at a place that wasn't amenable to stenting. We talked to her. Now, I already talked about detox when I saw her in the office, and so she had already started that within a week of me taking her to the cath lab. But she didn't want to have single vessel bypass, which is the only solution we had for that lesion. She wanted to continue with the detox and see how it did. So in about 5.5 months of detox, the artery went from 95% stenosis to wide open. The heart was beating 24%, went up to 50% ejection fraction, and she was feeling much, much better. Now, incidentally, she lost 30 pounds. But the point is that she went for optimal nutrition. Her biochemistry and physiology corrected, and the lesion opened up. The hearts got stronger because the biochemistry and physiology got better. But the weight came off because the biochemistry and physiology got better too. So it's a sum total of how you nourish the body that then leads to other things where you're able to exercise, your mental outlook is better, your mental clarity is better, your mood is better. We've seen people with depression on one lady was suicidal on the detox. Yeah, not only she lost weight, but she got off the antidepressants. She was more mentally alert and clear. So the nutrients that we have, the optimal nutrition puts a charge in your body. It says a biochemistry we don't really understand. I'm not saying understand it, but it's there, and it's there for the having if we use it the right way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So well put. So well put. And it's unfortunate that not all physicians are having these conversations. We understand why our colleagues are in this situation. Like you said, it's a kind of an inundation And they've given a script and we're supposed to follow that script, and we're not supposed to veer from that for multiple reasons, most of them political and financially. And I have no problem saying this. It's my show. I can say that. And that's one of the reasons why I stepped away from corporate America, corporate medicine, because even at the administrative level, we're not able to have these kinds of conversations. And it's very, very important. This is a conversation of empowerment. I really want all communities to understand that you have a choice whether or not you want to be sick or not. Does it mean it's easy? No. Does it mean that there's work and change that has to happen that you have to do? We can't do it for you. We have to teach you what to do, but then you have to make a choice of what, if you're going to do it or not. But I am, just so honored to have been raised up by physicians such as Dr. Baxter Montgomery, who are still out here fighting the good fight, along with us aside, just, showing and telling and teaching a different way of healing. Because what we're really talking about is healing, not just band-aiding anymore. Your body is meant to heal itself. And I know Dr. Baxter Montgomery would agree with me. It's a body that's meant to help itself heal. But if you don't put the right things in, then that can't happen. So Dr. Montgomery, tell me about the things that you have going on at your center over there in Houston, Texas.
Great. If I may allow 2 seconds to follow up on what you said, because I think the things you said are so great. Doing this is not hard, and it takes an individual sacrifice. And what I try to encourage people to do, and as much as I can when I speak, I try to think of it most of the time. I try to encourage people to join this movement.
Yeah.
This way of living is not about a fat diet. It's not about just losing weight. It's not about, if we want to think about, our people, the legacy we want to leave down. The number one way that we are destroyed is not by police brutality. I don't want to get too political, but it's not by all of these other things it's the things that we do to ourselves. And if we simply turn around what we do to ourselves in terms of how we nourish our body, then we as individuals and collectively as a community can rise up through health. The thing that's most atrocious to us in terms of destructive behavior, it destroys us economically. It takes our lives away prematurely. I just see too often young Black men being destroyed with heart disease and heart failure, men in their 30s and 40s with end-stage heart failure. Women, very young, end-stage heart failure, uterine fibroids, all sorts of ailments, and it's destroying our community. Correct. We have, as individuals, have to take on the mantle. And people say, oh, it's an extreme approach. Yeah, we'll go to the extreme because we're facing an extreme problem. And we have to take on that legacy. It's the families pass down illnesses more effectively through recipes than through genes. And
wait, I got to stop you. I have got to stop you. This is the beginning and the end. You do not die from diabetes because your mama and your grandma had diabetes. You die from diabetes and heart disease because you cook and eat. That's what got passed down. There could be genes there, and that's great. Mm-hmm. But environment, we have to learn how to do things differently. They did that because they had to, and we made it worse.
Yeah.
So sorry I had to cut in there, but that's
no, that's exactly right.
That's
and I think points. No, that's excellent. And because and the whole thing about the genes, I'm glad you brought that up, is that let's say you have the genetics for diabetes and heart disease and stroke or whatever that may be. Your genetic predisposition to something is just simply a blueprint. So if an architect draw a blueprint and hands you a blueprint for a mansion, you don't have a mansion. You have to then hire contractors, subcontractors, they got to buy supplies. They have to look at that blueprint and they have to express that blueprint into a mansion. They have to build a mansion. The way your genetics works, you have the DNA, which is the blueprint, and you may have the blueprint for all sorts of diseases, but it's your negative environment that serves as a contractor that then looks at that blueprint for diabetes, the blueprint for heart disease, blueprint for stroke, blueprint for heart attack, and then express those blueprints based on your negative environment. So if you are consuming bad food or living a negative lifestyle, then those are the contractors that are going to build the negative components of your gene, and you're going to have the building blocks for diabetes, the building blocks for heart disease, the building blocks for hypertension, the building blocks for WBGs, or whatever the case may be. You got to disconnect that. That's called epigenetics. And that can be turned around. We know, we've shown in our lab, epigenetics can be reversed in just 4 weeks, some evidence of it. We actually embarking on a study right now. We're going to look at it more in depth. So
I'm sorry, Dr. Montgomery, can you define epigenetics for the general public?
So epigenetics basically have DNA, and then RNA kind of translates from the DNA, which is genetic blueprint, and it translates that genetic blueprint into actually building blocks. So you have a genetic blueprint for an enzyme, a genetic blueprint for some other protein, molecule, hormone, or the like. And it expresses that blueprint, the RNA expression, the ribosomal activity and the like, takes that blueprint, reads it, and then starts building molecules based on that blueprint. So if you start to build molecules that are unhealthy, then that's based on an adverse environment, i.e. bad food, lack of fresh air, lack of sunshine, lack of water, lack of movement. All those things will start to cause the expression of the genetic predisposition. Some people, if you get 1,000 people in a room, you feed them all, a McDonald's or some bad food every day of the week, they're not all going to get sick the same way.
Right.
Some will be skinny and depressed. Some will be overweight. Maybe most will be overweight. Some will have diabetes. Some will have heart disease. Some will have peripheral. Some will have stroke. Some will have all sorts of things. Some will get cancer. Some will not. So they'll all get sick in different ways. But the thing is that they will all get sick. So the genetics determine how they get sick. The environment determines that they get sick. So if you have a bad lifestyle, you will get sick. But how you get sick depends on your genes. Yeah. If you have an optimal lifestyle, then you cut off the getting sick. So it doesn't matter how you're predisposed to getting sick, you just don't get sick.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much. We could talk all night.
Sorry.
No, you don't apologize. I am just grateful. And I don't know if you see the chat, but they are loving it. And it sounds like you got some patients coming your way.
I appreciate it. I saved our website in the chat. I can give the office number. Quickly, just to let you know, we're in Houston. I mean, you know that, but our address is 1080 Main Street.
Please tell them how to get in contact with you. That was my next question for you. How to tell the people how to get in contact with you. And you will not leave out your newest program that is about to take flight. Please invite them.
I put that in. Did you see the chat early on? Do I need to re-put that in the chat?
Yeah, please do. Please drop that again for them. And then let them know a little bit about the amazing program that you are involving the community in and getting us all involved in education.
Okay, so I'm putting in the chat right now our website, montgomeryheart.com. You can find all the information about what we do. It's a fairly newly launched website. And what we're doing, we talked about this healthcare system, and we are starting a community that I want to invite everybody to join. And we have launch week next week. And I just put that in the chat as well. montgomeryheart.com is our website. Now, montgomeryheart.com/launch week is the link to the launch week. Now, that site is very new. You can go on and we're actually making it live tomorrow morning, but go ahead and log on. You'll be able to see what we have there. What we're launching is an optimal health community. Montgomery Heart Optimal Health Community. Optimal health is not just a state of being. You say, well, my blood pressure's okay, my doctor said my cholesterol's okay, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm on 3-4 medicines and everything looks good. They say, see me in a year. Are you healthy or are you not? Well, optimal health is a condition where the body is constantly improving and not degenerating. So what we like to do is we like to have people say, okay, let's not look at your health from the standpoint of your blood tests and all that. If your blood test is abnormal, then you have advanced disease. If your blood test is normal, then you can still have advanced disease. We just haven't picked it up yet. So the point is that your health should be dictated by your activity, your behavior, your mindset, more so than what I find or somebody else find in the lab. So optimal health the community is where we're bringing people into a community. And it's not just it's on a social media platform that's private, but it's not just a social media platform. It's designed as a social media platform so that you can interact with other people, regardless of how far away you are. You have access to experts. I bring in experts in the way of holistic medicine, natural medicine, not only people like myself, but people like Dr. Monica will probably be on the faculty, but we'll bring in people in fitness and acupuncture and all these areas. And you'll have access to this expertise. You'll have access to support group. So what we are doing with this community is empowering individuals to create their own healthcare. Oftentimes what I see is patients that they're trapped in the sick care system. Well, my doctor got to refill my medications. I got to do this. And the pharmacy won't cover this. They won't cover this brand. I got to get this generic and blah, blah, blah. They're sending you poisonous generic medicines over from China. It's Russian roulette because you got 20 different generic makers. You don't know what you're getting from one week to the other. And so it's a mess and people are trapped in this system. Optimal health is a process, a way, it's an alternative to this process. And you know, it is a paid online service, but as little as $5 a month, you can do more. But you have access to experts and content, support groups where you can get on a nutrition plan. We have coaching services. So whatever you need to design your healthcare journey, you have access to it on this healthcare community. It's Montgomery Heart and Wellness Optimal Health Community. And it is that a community. And it's a community support. You'll be with other people who are like-minded, who are trying to do the right things. You'll be with different people at different stages of the journey. You can hear me talk until we're both blue in the face. But that next person that has that same walk and shared their experience can touch your heart in a certain way that makes all the difference in the world. So that's where that community comes into place. It's multidimensional. Please come and take a look next week. I have a number of people coming on. Dr. Doug Lau, he's a clinical psychologist. He'll be talking about the psychology of community and support, but I'll also ask him a question about the food trap because he talks about how people get caught up in the food trap. Dr. T. Colin Campbell's going to be talking about the antiviral effects of nutrition, plant-based nutrition. Chef Babette, who's like 72 years old, look like she's 35, is going to be talking about how she does probably 75 push-ups and all that other stuff on her diet and runs heels. And I'll be debating Dr. Milton Mills and Dr. Columbus Batiste on the efficacy of the vaccine. I won't get into that tonight, but you'll probably know where I stand after listening to me talk for a few minutes. But you'll have a variety of things, and what we're doing is giving you a sample of things, plus there'll be some recipes, some videotapes, but we're giving you a sample of what this community is about and the type of content you'll have access to going forward long-term. So again, MontgomeryHeart.com is our website, and I put in there MontgomeryHeart.com/launch week. Go on and sign on and take a look at our website and see what we're all about. And our office number is 713-599-1144 for people who like to use the old-fashioned phone. Which is nothing wrong with that. I like to call and hear a live voice myself. So anyway.
Oh, I like to write on paper still, so I appreciate
exactly.
it as well. I like to turn paper. I like to feel it in my hand. So I guess I'm old school now, Doc.
I'm with you.
And nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong. This is old school. I'll take it. I want to say once again, this program that you have, I feel like once again, you're groundbreaking. This is what is necessary for the times that we are in. Not just another push button, something to sign up for, but an opportunity for us all to get together and talk about what we need in healthcare, what each other needs, to lean on each other, to share with each other, for experts to be there for you to be able to actually put your hands on and touch and get the information that you need. So I am excited to be a part of this, and you all should be excited as well. You don't have to be in Houston to be a part of this, which is what's so beautiful also about this. It's almost like a perfect timing for Dr. Montgomery and us and I to reunite, because this is some excellent work that he's once again groundbreaking on. For those of you who get an opportunity to go by his facility there in Houston, he's got a restaurant there. He's got, it's amazing. It's amazing. I haven't been back in some time, but the next time I'm in Houston, he knows I'm due a visit to come and see kind of all the new things that he's got going on there. Dr. Baxter Montgomery, you are amazing. You are still the best. Will always be the best. Thank you for continuing to educate the masses. doing what you do. You stuck with me now. You coming back again next year, and gonna give the people what they want and give the people what they need. Thank you so much for closing out the summit. For me, as the last speaker tonight, it was well worth the wait. I am so grateful for you, as well as all of my other speakers tonight. We started off with some technological difficulties and we still almost finished on time. That's amazing. God is good. I want to say to you all, thank you so much for coming tonight. Deep Rooted Health is my baby. It has grown from a passion of serving people. Deep Rooted Health, it comes from the need and the want to get to the deep root of our health issues. When we get to the root of things, we can actually fix them. Band-Aids are only temporary. And we talk about tonight food as being the big part of the solution. But in my practice, we deal with mind, body, spirit. All those things need to be balanced for us to heal. Food is a great part of that. And in the community, that's one of our biggest problems. I speak on many occasions about where our food comes from and why our food is no longer healing us. But we do have power. We do have the ability to change that. And I invite you all as an offer to, I'm going to put drop a link here, and also you'll receive an email where you can get a free 15-minute consultation with myself so that we can talk about how we get you back on track to take better care of yourself with better food, better nutrition, better mindset, better time management, better exercise, and better just general love for yourself. I'm going to drop that in the chat, and I'm also going to send you a lovely email. You will also get, if you have registered, and I did put another link in there for the correct registration. If you have gotten onto the Zoom and were not registered, please register. If you register, you get my first cookbook, Small But Mighty cookbook, and it has some amazing recipes. People have asked me for years to write it down, and I finally did. I wrote it down just for you all. And so you will get a free copy of that, a digital copy of my recipe book if you register, because it'll come to you in email form. Dr. Montgomery, if any of my guests are still with us, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for making the 2022 Food for Life Summit a success. It's a success because you guys are here. Thank you so much for everyone's attention, and thank you for staying. I knew it was worth it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
You guys have a great night. I just dropped the link on how to get a free 15-minute consult with me. If you are ready to change the way you are doing your life, you're ready to change the way your health is going, or if you're actually just doing pretty good and you want to continue to do good, I get to take care of well people now as well. I am here to help you stay well, give you a doctor who's not going to band-aid everything, but also teach you about the things that you need to do to continue to be in good health and find problems probably before they start, by just checking out what your lifestyle is and what things can be enhanced in that. So I take care of people who are well just as much as I do people who are not well. I take care of all ages, women, children, men, and babies, and everything in between. So it's been a pleasure to see you guys tonight and to be able to take care of you. I am Dr. Monica J.R. Williams Riley, really Dr. Riley, but I haven't got rid of the other name yet, but everybody knows me as just as Dr. Monica. Please feel free to reach out to me. My website is www.deeprootedhealth.org. You can reach me there. You can also reach me on Instagram. You can reach me on Facebook. I am on all of those platforms, so please feel free to reach out. I have programs for all different health issues as well as wellness. So I am here for you all. I'm hoping that you enjoyed my super friends that I brought together for you tonight. Please tune in next year for 2023's Food for Life, and I will promise you it only gets better. You guys have an amazing night. It's been a pleasure. For those of you who have left your emails in the chat, I will gather those and make sure that I register you if I don't see you on the registration page. Thank you all. This has been fun for me. I hope it's been fun for you all. I'm going to unmute for those of you all who are still left if anybody has any questions. I'm going to try. What am I? Hey, I can't unmute people. Oh, here it is. I never found the unmute button. I don't know how to hit all unmute, so I got to do it one at a time.
Hey, Monica, this is Kathy. I have a quick.
Hey, Kathy, sure, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna be quick as possible because you know I like to talk, and so you and I are probably gonna have to talk later because I have a lot to say. That being said, when you sent me the text today, I thought, okay, Monica, thanks for the heads up. Could have called me a little earlier, but it's all good because you know I'm on the West Coast,
Right.
And so you know I had to start at 3, but I got off at 3. But then I had something to do, so I'm listening and trying to do that, and it's not really working out. But so finally, when I get to the car, I'm like, oh man, this is good stuff. When the woman was talking about the hair and all that. So I wrote her information down. I'm going to follow up on that. And then I was very much interested in Jinka, that product. That was some good information. But finally I made it home and I'm still, you know, on the phone, you know, on Zoom. And my daughter comes in the room and she's like, oh, what is that? So I explained to her, you know, your whole program. And she says, you know, you send me all these foolish TikTok videos. Why didn't you send me that? And I was like, oh, my bad. But I think, you know, your text to me and this program was very timely because, you know, because of my health challenges. Yes. But in addition to that, I just recently found out that I'm pre-diabetic, have high blood pressure. So everything that was shared today was very timely. My daughter is actually plant-based. And so while I'm watching you eating my chicken, you know, she's looking at me like, basically like, do you hear them? Right. And one of the things, I don't know if the doctor is still on, when he was explaining, when he, you know, my daughter's a biology major. And so when he was explaining epigenetics, she was like, let me hear if he explains that right.
You're not going to find nobody better. You're not going to find anybody better.
And so, and then lastly, you know, one of the things he said, and I'm going to wrap it up, but one of the things he said, he talked about, you know, helping people with addictions to bad food. And I thought, that's it. That's it right there. Because there's so many diets, right?
Yes.
And there's so many ways to lose weight and this, that, and the third, but it's really the food. Like, and you said it too, you know, exercise obviously is relevant, but it doesn't end there. It really doesn't even start there. And I'm learning. I'm telling you all this because I'm learning. I'm not like the expert. So I just wanted to say, in conclusion, everything you said was very timely, and I'm definitely gonna reach out to you and we'll talk more.
Absolutely. And this is a continuum. And Dr. Baxter Montgomery, he actually mentioned this as well. Dr. Montgomery and I both believe that education on these matters is a continuum, because especially if you went to conventional medical school, allopathic medical school, these are not subjects that we spent much time on. My love for holistic medicine, for naturopathic medicine comes out of how I was raised. My parents are on here tonight, and my mom is a city girl, my dad is a country boy, and I'll tell you, they raised us in the suburbs, and I wish I had the picture handy, but as soon as we got out there, my mom had us gardening, and I don't know if she knew much about it, but we were learning together. And my whole life, we grew up with our hands in the dirt. I remember my grandmother soaking my feet in onion water. And I remember I had a great grandmother who literally had no health issues at all. She took not one medication. She unfortunately died from a female cancer because she just didn't trust the medical community. And at that point, I dedicated my life to making sure that nobody else would ever pass away from something that could have been prevented. Had she not been so scared of the medical community, she may have been more likely to have told us that something was wrong, because at 80 plus years old, 88 or something like that, she was when I was 11 years old, there was no reason for her to have left us. So we have to be more willing to talk about our medical issues, and we have to trust the community, but you can only trust the community if we are giving you good information. So it is very important that we learn how to get back to the basics, understand how our food can heal us, how our lifestyles can kill us, and do something about it. That is what my practice, Deep Rooted Health, is about. It's about taking the time. We don't do 15-minute visits. We take the time to find out what the root of the problem is so that we can get you where you need to be. I am board certified in family medicine. I am a functional medicine specialist. I have licenses in 3 states, Georgia, Louisiana, and Texas. I do virtual visits as well. I am here to help you all. And this is just this program today was a 1-year anniversary for me of this private practice really launching. And I want to just thank you all for those who are already my patients who are on here tonight, and those of you who are interested in being my patients. I thank you for your trust, because this is sometimes a little bit new information for people. I want you to know that you are not alone. We're all learning and growing, and it's never too late to start over again. So thank you, Kathy, for that. I appreciate you. Anybody else have any questions? I think I finally found the button where you can unmute yourself. So you can unmute yourself if you have a question for me.
I don't have a question. Are you hearing me, doctor?
Yes, I do. Bishop.
I don't have a question. I just want to say something that, and I'm not going to be long, that happened to you, that happened to Dr. Montgomery, that happened to Yolanda, that happened to myself. We questioned our schooling. We questioned what we were told, how we were taught. And we spent, and I'm going to say this very nicely, we spent too long of a time in some of those school systems that we were in. If the thing was so good, why is it that people are still dying at the rate that they are?
Hello, say that again.
If the thing was so good, you know, like I mentioned earlier, they said, you heal the sicknesses of the daughters of Israel, saying peace, peace, when there is no peace. All right, nothing has changed. So most of us are going to come to a place where I don't like the results I'm getting from the vocation that I've devoted myself to. When that time comes, when you find yourself at that juncture, make the change.
Yeah.
Make the change. And if you have younger ones coming up, tell them, don't spend that long time in some of the school systems of northern nations, and then we're not able to help people in the long run. Make the change and help people. Yep.
Absolutely. Knowledge is nothing if you learn nothing, and knowledge is nothing if you're not able to give it away. That is the whole premise. And
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for coming, and thank you for your participation tonight. It is so true that we spend a lot of time educating ourselves or getting educated instead of educating ourselves. And it's so important that we use our brains. If something doesn't make sense, I can't tell you how many times in residency, things that did not make sense, even though it was in the book. And I'm a scientist. And if I'm a scientist, that means that I have the right to question. I have the right to investigate. I was taught a scientific method for a reason, not to follow, but to go out and investigate, and to use my abilities to actually figure out a better way or figure out truth. And so that's what I do on a regular basis. And I encourage all my patients, if you question me, if I don't know, it's okay. I will go find out. If I don't know, I need to be able to say, I don't know, but let's go find that out. You need to have questions. You need to get second opinions. This is your body. This is your life. You are in charge. I am just someone who is being given this task of educating you on other possibilities. Please, please, please take charge of your health. Take charge of your life. All right. Anyone else?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, this is Deborah Edmondson.
Hi,
and
Edmondson.
I came on late because I was out, but Sharon King invited me to this summit, and I must say thank you. Sharon knows that this is my language.
Wonderful.
I am a medical profession. And I don't say health because health and medical is two different things. I had to learn that the hard way. And like the bishop just said, when you get to the point where you're questioning what you were taught in school and it doesn't align with what you're seeing, you need to make the change. My change came because of occupational illness and burnout. So I went back to this community that I knew well. They couldn't help me. They made me look like I'm crazy. But God showed me a different path. And that's when I began to learn about functional medicine. I'm like, what's that? And I have now been on that journey to healing myself holistically. And I recognize it's a mind, body, spirit connection that I need to get to a place of whole health. And I've been communicating this to my community of African Americans. But here's the problem with us. Unless we have a title behind our names to say that I'm qualified to bring this information that's contrary to what my doctor is saying to me, we don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem for us. So I went back now to school to do health education and promotion so that I can have my initials behind my name to bring this information to my community. And I'm saying all this to say that I am so grateful to see you, Dr. what's his name, Montgomery, and the others who are stepping now to the front and saying, we can do this better. Let's change some things and we can do this better. So I support you. I'm going to contact you. I'm going to Houston in another month, so I will be in his office.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And that was one of the things that I thought was also so amazing about tonight is you're exactly right. I became an MD. As I said, I didn't spend a lot of time in doctor's offices growing up. I became an MD so people would listen to me. I actually drove past the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine almost every week on Broad Street, not Broad Street, City Line Avenue, and had no idea what was underneath my fingertips because I didn't know anything about osteopathic medicine. Had I known, that probably would have been the path that I took, but I knew that having MD behind my name and that education, that my people would listen to me. Now, what I had to be smart enough is I had to still learn how to decipher what was true and what was not. And so I've spent my career as an administrator. I've run clinics and medical facilities, trying to teach us how to get back to health, even though it doesn't always mean taking medications, the conventional medications. It doesn't mean that you stop your conventional medications. It means that you stay under the tutelage of someone who knows how to transition you, get your lifestyle better so that you can get off of medications. But I learned how to teach people how to get back to nutritious ways of living by having the MD behind my name. So Ms. Sharon, you're exactly right that, Ms. Deborah, I'm sorry, that you're exactly right that unfortunately, without letters behind your names, people are less likely to listen to what you have to say. But as you saw tonight, not everyone on my panel had letters behind their name, but they all were experts in what they do and what they bring to the table. We need to start learning to listen to our community because there's a lot of important information out there. So thank you for coming and thank you for sharing. All right, you all, I have taken up all of your time. We have gone over for these last few questions and I love it. Thank you so very much for your attention and your time. Be on the lookout. You all are on my list. You all will be getting emails and you all will be getting notified that next year will be bigger, badder, and hotter. Come join us next year. But in the meantime, please go and support the presenters that you heard tonight, and definitely come see me at Deep Rooted Health so we can take you to the next level, get into the deep root of what's going on with you. You guys have a wonderful night. This is Dr. Monica and I am out.
I wanna be with you always, 'cause that is what my heart says. That's what my heart says. I wanna be You are my world and